that sound, it means that the Maniac Cop's around. Once upon a time, he was a super cop, but the bad guys blamed him to make him stop. They put him in prison where they tried to kill him, but he broke out, now he's the villain. Bullets won't hurt him, I know it sounds like jive, but we're not sure if he's dead or alive.
Set him on fire, I shoot him with an Uzi, but he'll show up in your jacuzzi. You can run him over, you can feed him poison, push him out a window and it only annoys him. You better believe me if they think I'm lying. When he show up, people start dying. He's out for vengeance and he can't be stopped. That's why they call him the Maniac Cop.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
And I'm Bobby Trippett.
And today we're talking about 1990's Maniac Cop 2.
I hate being around stiff since they made me kiss my grandma at her funeral.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Where said it, knocker? I don't know.
Spooky got no real rhythm.
Let's play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
How the hell would women live? I'm horny. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
It's for jacking off. Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamed. And more.
So at the end of summer sequel month, Bobby, it's just you and I here talking about Maniac Cop 2.
Oh, boy.
Movie I've never seen, and I've never seen the first Maniac Cop.
Oh,
so
you're missing out.
This is going to be a real interesting... I guess there's a lot of stuff from the first movie
I gotta tell
in
you,
this movie.
spoiler alert, Mike. You have seen Maniac Cop 1.
Oh,
this
I
is
figured,
a real
yeah.
this is a real Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 situation where half this movie is flashbacks to the first one.
Yeah, because as we'll get into it, the first scene of the movie, I'm like, am I watching the end, or...
Yeah.
Oh,
you
it's
are
just
actually
the first movie.
The first movie just starts with a replay of the juicy bits from the end of part 1.
You know, which is fine. We'll get into it. I think that's fine, and more sequels maybe should just do that.
It helps
at some point
because
it's like,
it makes it
that's what
accessible.
happened. Yeah,
For a guy like you knew everything you needed to know going into this,
yeah.
right?
You know, there's only you could have got me up to speed with 3 sentences about the first movie because it's pretty fucking simple. Just like in this one, I'm sure like 5 things happen.
Yeah.
And then it ends.
But we'll
And you're
talk
like,
about
okay.
all that when we talk about the movie.
So we'll get into the background here. The director of this movie is William Lustig. He's directed
old Bill
12
Lustig.
movies, but produced 122. Yeah, prolific.
Very.
His first movie was 1977's The Violation of Claudia.
Oh, is that what I think it sounds like?
Yeah, what do you think it's about? Because I got the description written down.
Oh, I'm guessing that Claudia
Yeah.
parks in a red zone.
No, she's actually a tennis instructor. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. A tennis instructor leads a wealthy but neglected housewife into the world of prostitution.
Oh, fantastic.
So, I guess some tennis pro, he's like, hey, you're not doing anything. You want to be a prostitute? And she's like, sure, I'm bored. That's a movie, apparently, that this man directed.
It's a good start.
1978, Hot Honey.
Oh.
What do you think that's about?
I'm guessing the same as the last one.
Well, it's actually a complaint on eating hot honey. It's like it should always be eaten cold. That's what the whole movie's about.
But it's a little too solid when it's cold.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Spoilers on the movie.
No, Honey is afraid of sex, so her boyfriend cheats on her. Honey's girlfriend helps her overcome her issues. Honey is now into it so much that she loses her virginity with her brother when she decides, when she comes home and catches his nurse seducing him.
Why?
Like, what the fuck is that?
What? No.
Now that I've
Nope.
read that, I don't understand a word I just said.
I don't either. I refuse this entire film.
Huh. Anyways, he directed 1980's Maniac.
See, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, so he went from these like borderline porno movies shown on 42nd Street into Maniac, which is a little not on the porno side.
Not
but,
really.
You know, still a sleazy movie.
Oh,
a
sleazy
great
as
sleazy
hell.
movie. 1982, he made Vigilante.
Great movie.
1988, Maniac Cop.
Yes.
1989, Hit List with Jan Michael Vincent, one of our favorites here on the Grindbin.
I'm sure he gives it his all in that movie.
Oh, he always does. 1989, Relentless with Judd Nelson.
Huh.
Yeah. And he's like a killer or something, you know. And then 1993, he did Maniac Cop 3, Badge of Silence. Yeah, I never seen that one.
Honestly, you're good with the first 2.
Yeah.
My opinion, we don't. Part 3 just didn't have the chutzpah of the first 2.
Huh. They didn't just did they just recut all of 1 and 2?
You know, I think that's what I had a problem with. It was missing that.
Really?
I was hoping it would be at least, a third from each film, and then we just roll into the ending.
Huh. But they didn't do it.
No.
1996, he made Uncle Sam. I used to have the poster of this movie in my room because a video store next to the Round Table Pizza I worked at closed, and the guy threw out all these posters, and I found that one. I was like, fuck yeah.
Now, did this poster have the lenticular effect that the VHS box did?
No. But it did. It was the Uncle Sam Wants You Dead, is what it says on the
great.
poster, and it's just him, pointing at you. But it didn't have the.
Because I loved that. It was the same people who brought us Jack Frost.
Oh, well.
At least the packaging.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of, where it's the normal snowman and then it's the mutant killer snowman when you move the box slightly.
No, I just had the mutant Uncle Stam.
Uncle Stam?
Uncle Stam. Pointing at me through the poster. And
that's a pretty great poster to have.
he did it uncredited, apparently. So he took his name off. It's a
just
piece
so
of
we're
shit,
clear,
so.
he left his name on Hot Honey.
Yeah.
Took his name off Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
He's like, that one I don't really want to admit
he's like,
to.
Anyways, he makes cameos in every early Sam Raimi movie, though.
Yes.
He's in Darkman, Army of Darkness.
He's on the team. He's part of the crew.
Now, the writer of this movie, which
another heavy hitter.
We have not had on the Grindbin yet.
And that's shocking.
Yeah, he is pretty prolific in the movie industry, not just the B-movie industry.
The operative word was yet. We haven't had him on the Grindbin yet. We're definitely going to end up covering probably multiple films.
Yeah, I think so. He recently had a whole documentary produced on his life and career. Larry Cohen.
Mm-hmm. The documentary is called King Cohen.
Yes, and he has 87 writing credits. 87! And he has 21 directing. Including 1973 Hell Up in Harlem, he wrote and directed that.
Absolutely.
1973 Black Caesar, wrote and directed.
Great film.
1974 It's Alive, which he wrote and directed. 1976 God Told Me To, wrote and directed. 1981 Full Moon High, wrote and directed. 1982 Q, which he also wrote and directed. It stars David Carradine, and it's like about some sort of dragon or something attacking New York.
Mm-hmm. I've actually mentioned to you, let's pull back the curtain for a second. It is on the to-watch list for the show.
Oh, okay. So Q is a quality
I love Q.
Cohen flick.
Q's an awesome...
All right.
He did a kaiju film. It's like, we haven't done one of those since Yeti.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll have to get Q up here.
Q
Put
might
it in
be
the
the
queue.
one. We need something to battle the Yeti.
Oh, that's true.
In the world of the Grindbin.
Everybody's favorite episode, Yeti, Giant of the 20th Century. That's one I'll throw up every now and then on the Twitter, be like, yeah, let's hit this one, And then you look at if anybody downloaded it, and it's like, oh, still can't get any interest in Yeti, huh?
That's a crime.
I know it is.
Because that's a great film and a great episode.
Bobby, that's like your Demon Cop. Because I was the one who's like, we got to get Demon Cop on the show.
You got to push for Demon Cop.
We did find one Demon Cop fan.
It's amazing. Yeah. You were telling me about this.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I forget your name right now. I will mention you, though. He has 3 copies of it. I'll get back to him on a future episode.
Wow.
But, yeah, we found our Demon Cop fan. See, I told you.
I didn't believe you. I did not.
One day we'll find that Yeti fan.
Well, you did. He's on the show.
Oh, well, that's true. There you go. Well, we'll find another.
One day my prince will come.
Your kindred spirit out there who's a big Yeti Giant of the 20th Century fan. Go back and listen to that episode, by the way. It's a fun one.
Yeah.
Where Melania Trump makes friends with a Yeti. Her and Barron Trump.
With a giant monster with very active nipples.
But wonderful hair.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. 1984 special effects. Oh, we know about this movie. Why? Because it stars Grindbin All-Star Zoe Lund from Miss 45.
Yes, it does.
He also directed that movie. 1984, Perfect Strangers, wrote and directed that. 1985, The Stuff.
The Stuff is so good. Have you seen this, Mike?
I have not.
Dude, I got to lend it to you.
Go ahead. We'll get it on the show.
It should be on the show.
All right.
That'll be a good episode.
1988, Maniac Cop, wrote that. He wrote Maniac Cop 3. He wrote Uncle Sam.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote... Now, here's where it's weird. He wrote 2002's Phone Booth.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's a one you're like, really? I saw that in the theater. I remember seeing that.
It's 80 for me and 1 for them.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
He finally got a Joel Schumacher movie in the theater. Phone Booth.
Well, he caught Joel Schumacher at the right point in his career.
Yeah, he really
to accept
did.
projects.
Is that maybe one of the best Schumacher movies? It might be.
Honestly, I think so.
Phone Booth is good. I mean, I think, because I saw that in the theater, it's a legit, decent thriller. that takes place entirely in a phone booth with Colin Farrell, who's now, man, what a career renaissance he's had, and Kiefer Sutherland.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a great movie. At least what I remember. I think I have it on DVD somewhere, or I gave it to Goodwill. So.
You know that's a reveal, right, Mike?
Oh, well, fuck it. 2002. If you haven't watched it by now, 16 years later, fuck you, right? There's like a 2-year thing for spoilers, I'd say. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because if you go like, oh, you know, Darth Vader's Luke's dad, people be, hey!
Honestly,
man.
You'd say 2 years is appropriate?
2 years, yeah. You think?
Yeah, I think so.
If you don't see it in 2 years, it's like, well, seriously, what are the chances you're going to watch a movie if it's been over 2 years and you haven't seen it?
But it's slim.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very slim.
I watched a movie the other day that was over 2 years old, I think. I watched that Under the Skin movie.
Oh, yeah, that was that was a movie.
Man, I was disappointed because I really liked his other movie, Sexy Beast, with Ben Kingsley.
That's a great film.
That's a great movie. And I was like, I've always wanted to see this one. Him's a little dabble into sci-fi. I've never seen that other movie he made called Birth, which is about Nicole Kidman falling in love with a child or something that she thinks is her dead husband.
Wow.
Like something like the kid convinces her that he's the reincarnation of her dead husband, and he's like, well, you should have sex with me. And he's
this
like,
is horrible.
10. Yeah, I know. It's a fucked up movie.
Yeah, no thanks.
Never seen that one, but I was like, give Under the Skin a chance. No, there's no point. You know what I mean? I watched it when it was over. I was like, huh, what was that for? 90 minutes, I guess.
Demon Cop, though. Bobby,
we've been through Demon Cop. It's a warning, right? We're all Bloodhound or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
In some respect, As funny enough, that's why they called themselves the Bloodhound Gang. It's after Demon Cop.
This goes all the way up to the Bloodhound Gang.
Burn the motherfucker down. Am I right? 2004, he wrote Cellular. So he went from a phone booth to cellular. He's like, we got to upgrade,
He's looking to the future.
All these kids with their Nokia phones and the snake. I'm going to write a movie about that. And he did. And then 2007's Captivity.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he wrote it.
Oh, man. Actually, no. I'll go so far as to say this is actually a good thing.
Oh, really?
Because he single-handedly killed the torture porn genre.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because Captivity hit, and that's when the world went, you know what? Enough.
Yeah, that was it. That was the girl from 24 or something.
Yeah, and she's being forced to eat a human parts smoothie at one point and being locked in a little dog cage or whatever. And
Larry, what the fuck, man?
It was in at the time. It was the style at the time.
And he killed it. They were like, you know what, Larry, thanks. Thanks a lot. You killed it. But we're still going to make more Saw movies.
I feel like it was intentional. I feel like it was like, you know what? We need to stop with this.
Yeah.
It's getting out of control.
Maybe he did it on purpose.
We got collectors running around through hostels. We can't do this.
So we get in the cast. Robert Davi, hello, welcome to the Grindbin.
Yes.
Longtime character actor, 153 credits.
Perhaps best known as one of the Fratellis in The Goonies.
Yeah, I was going to mention.
With the penchant for opera singing.
1985, The Goonies. He's in it, of course. But 1 year before that, he was in a movie called City Heat.
That's a great title.
Which, get this, never heard of this movie, so you know it's going to be bad because I'm going to tell you the cast and you've never heard of it, so it's probably not great. It's a Clint Eastwood, Burt Reynolds buddy cop movie. And I was like, what? Sign me up. And then I'm like, wait, I've never heard of it. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's very telling.
Yeah. 1986, he was in Raw Deal, the
Great.
Schwarzenegger movie I think both of us have never seen, right?
I haven't actually seen it. That was one of those that I walked by it. It was when Pee Wee Herman is saving all the pets from the pet store. That was the snakes.
Yeah, you're just like,
I kept walking by and going, I'm grabbing something else.
I'll go watch Predator again.
Yep.
1988, Action Jackson.
Hell yeah.
Then he was in Die Hard, and then he was in License to Kill, Predator 2, Under Surveillance.
Action Jackson and the Predator series, but not part 1.
No.
See, I was thinking for a second he had like an in with Carl Weathers, but
oh no,
maybe he made a phone call for him.
No. Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to be in this one, but I don't know, maybe you can. 1991, Under Surveillance. Now, the only reason I mentioned this movie, Bobby, out of his 153 credits, because it's directed by, Grindbin All-Star, Rafal Zelinsky, Screwballs 2.
Oh.
Summer sequel month, right? It all goes back to Screwballs eventually.
Man.
1994, Cops and Robertsons. 1995, this is it. For me, his greatest role, maybe the greatest line Davi's ever said on screen, it must be nice not having anybody come on you. Showgirls.
Oh, man.
He has the best line in the whole movie. I mean, I'm assuming you've seen Showgirls.
Yes. I'm a big Paul Verhoeven fan.
Oh,
so it's,
who doesn't love Verhoeven, right?
Everything
and
he
you gotta love
touches is
Showgirls in
gold.
it. And so, yeah, he's the guy who owns the strip club in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
When he goes and visits Nomi, it's my favorite part. She's like a showgirl now. He's like, it must be nice not having anybody come on you. It's like, that's nice coming from you. Thank you.
You know,
I
when
appreciate
he
it.
passes, that'll be the clip they use in his Oscar montage.
Probably. Him and Verhoeven's, I think. And then he was in Expendables 3. So
Really? Was he?
I stopped after 1, so.
They called up Davi.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we're running out of guys.
It's interesting that it only took to part 3 before they're getting Robert Davi and Kelsey Grammer. They're like, yeah, these are the action heroes.
Yeah,
like,
because that's everybody wanted to see is Kelsey Grammer in Expendables. That's what I think of when I think of action. Although that part when he fell off the stage in real life was pretty funny. So
That's the most action-packed thing he ever did.
maybe they saw that and they're like, oh, this is a great part of his reel. And he's like, real? It was real life.
Hey, he played an X-Man. Let's not forget.
Oh, that's true.
He played a Marvel superhero.
We'll just skip over that. So Davi has 9 movies he's working on right now. So
God
he's,
damn.
yeah, dude works. Claudia Christensen, who plays Susan Riley in this, longtime character actor. She made TV appearances as guest roles for years, and then her first big break in 1994 was when she was cast in Babylon 5.
Oh.
That was it.
You know, I've never seen a
Straight to the
single
top.
episode of any Babylon
Nope,
5.
neither have I. I've never seen that or Battlestar Galactica or any of those. But, sure, they're great. It's not that I have anything wrong, like against it. I just don't care. You know, I like sci-fi, but I guess I just don't.
But a man has his limits.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can only keep so many universes in my head.
It's like, yeah. 1987, she was... Because, like, I love Stargate, the movie, like, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
They came out of the show, I was like, no. I've seen the movie, like, 20 times as a kid. I was like, this movie is fucking fantastic.
I guess it depends on what it'll be. You know, because if they did a TV show of Rollerball, I'd be there every fucking
The new
week.
Rollerball, which we've talked about. You're referring to the Chris Klein one.
Is there a different one?
Yeah. The one with Cool J.
Yeah,
and he
that's-
finally shows back up in the show, right? Like they'd make a show about it, and he shows up.
And he's like, "Ha! It grazed me." He's got
Yeah.
a little scar on his head,
He's like, yeah, I wasn't sniped in night vision.
and he's ready to get back out there, back
Yeah.
on the blades. And you know what song's gonna play? Put Me In, Coach.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say "Mama Said Knock You Out."
Oh shit, that's better.
You know, you have Cool J in your movie who's playing Rollerball, and you don't play that song at any point. I think it was just all like Limp Bizkit in that
Well, they
movie.
were too busy having Slipknot play live in the show.
That's true.
In the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
And
John
Paul
Renault's-
Heyman screaming into the microphone.
John Renault is a huge Slipknot fan, so he was
It's
like,
true. Have you seen his tattoos? He's definitely one of the maggots.
So here's an interesting movie she was in. Okay, 1987, The Hidden,
Okay, yeah.
which has Kyle MacLachlan in it, and it's about some sort of alien parasite that's killing people in L.A., and he plays an FBI agent on the chase, and I'm like, just sounds like Twin Peaks.
Of all things, he played
Yeah.
an FBI agent. No
That's
shit.
what he does. He's the FBI
He already
guy.
had the suit.
I know. Yeah, you think they just... David Lynch is like, you know, Kyle, you were fine in that as an FBI agent, so you just want to do that for this? He's like, yeah, I still got the suit.
Easy enough.
Yeah. 1994, The Chase, which is a fucking great Charlie Sheen, Christy Swanson, Henry Rollins movie.
You know, fair fucks. Henry Rollins is a good actor.
You know, The Chase is an enjoyable movie. It's bad, but it's great. It's a car chase for 90 minutes. 1999, The Substitute 3, Winner Takes All, baby.
Oh,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Is that when Treat Williams showed up?
It's a treat. It's a treat. 1999, The Final Voyage with Ice-T. Hell yeah.
Is it a pirate
right?
movie?
I don't know. Oh, man. You imagine that?
Oh, man.
I couldn't do an Ice-T impression. I was going to try for a second, but I'm like, yeah.
You know?
You know.
It's one of the better decisions you've made lately.
I think so. And then he was in 2002's Half Past Dead with Fat Seagal.
Oh, God.
You know the era of Fat Seagal when he was like starring in movies with rappers?
I do,
Half
actually.
Past Dead.
Because my late Nana, I think
Oh,
I've mentioned
no.
on the show in the past, as Patty and Selma on The Simpsons were to MacGyver, she was to her sweet, sweet Steven Seagal.
Really? She even liked Fat Seagal?
No.
Oh,
Because
okay.
looking through her VHS collection,
She stopped.
it ended at Glimmerman.
That's the place to end, though.
And she was like, enough. Leave
Yeah.
the memories alone.
Yeah, Glimmerman is-
I want to live. I want to live when he was under siege. I want to live in the better Seagal.
If you make it out of Glimmerman, like you're really dedicated to Seagal.
If you're still down for the cause.
Yeah. I think that's where most people were like, yeah, I think he's made enough.
And
They were done.
I wanted to be like, he's made more movies since, but I don't.
No.
I didn't want to break her heart.
No. I think It's Hard to Kill is my favorite. I think is that the one where he goes in the coma?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
That's the best one by far. In the
You know,
beginning of the
I'm a
movie where
big
he's
Under
doing a
Siege fan.
stakeout with
That's
the whole
my-
fucking all the audio equipment. Oh, I love that movie. Under Siege, that's a good one.
He has a great cameo in the Onion movie.
The Onion movie, the publication, The Onion made a movie.
They made a movie, and it is
Why?
wackadoo.
Huh.
It's on the level of like a
Kentucky
Zucker
Fried
Brothers
movie or
deal.
something? Okay,
It's
yeah.
all ridiculous.
That's what I'd figure.
But Steven Seagal is in it, parodying himself, and I don't know how they convinced him to have a sense of humor.
Oh,
But-
they didn't. They probably just told him like, "We're making a Seagal movie." He's like, "Sure."
Well, he is deadpanning all through it, but he's playing a character who just punches people in the balls. And so they have these big stunts of like two guys on motorcycles flank by him, and he just holds his fist out, and goes boom, hits him right in the nuts, and he delivers lines like, "I don't think you've got the balls." It's pretty great.
He
The
thought they
Onion
were gonna
movie's
cut
actually
it-
pretty funny.
Huh? Just a bunch of headlines, or
Basically,
Okay.
it's almost unwatchable.
do you know?
I highly
anybody-
recommend it.
Do you know anybody that actually fully clicks on the article?
And reads it beyond
Yeah.
the headlines. No,
Because everybody just looks at the headlines, right?
and then gets angry.
because
and
if you've
starts
ever
commenting.
if you've ever clicked on the headline, you go into the article. It's like 2 sentences.
Yeah, the joke is the headline.
Yeah. So she still works apparently really steadily. She does a lot of video game voice work.
Oh,
she does
cool.
like a bunch of stuff for Warcraft and all that. So
That's a good living.
yeah,
Pajamas all day.
exactly. Michael Lerner, who plays Edwards Doyle. Now, I was fucking shocked when he showed up in this movie.
Really?
Michael Lerner is a character actor who, you see him as a kid in a lot of these movies, and I was like, oh shit, it's him. Because I see him in all sorts of things. He's always playing an authority figure.
I
right?
love that guy's.
Yeah, you definitely recognize his face, and you see him like, oh man, he's that guy from Godzilla.
Yeah.
The Broderick one.
Oh, is he the mayor?
Yes.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
a longtime character actor. He has 178 movies, including 1972, The Candidate, 1976, St. Ives. Hey, that's a Bronson J. Lee Thompson joint. 1981, The Postman Always Rings Twice. 1982, Class Reunion. 1983, Strange Invaders. 1989, Harlem Nights. He was in Barton Fink, Newsies, Amos and Andrew, Blank Check.
Oh man, I loved that when I was a kid.
Hell yeah, Mikey. 1998, yes, Godzilla. He played the mayor. And then he was in 2003's Elf. And then he was also in X-Men Days of Future Past. Yeah,
Was he
I
really?
didn't know that one. So
Well, I know
Michael
you
Lerner's
didn't
on
see that.
Nope. Robert Zadar, who plays Matt Cordell, Grindbin All-Star.
The man of the hour, the man with the power, too sweet to be sour.
He was in Grotesque.
Yes, and so many films.
He has less lines than he did in Grotesque in this movie.
And that's probably for the best in this case.
I believe we covered his background in the Grotesque
We did, yes.
episode.
Which is funny because he's barely in that movie,
yeah.
but we wanted to talk about him.
Zadar's back, and he'll be back again.
Samurai Cop's
Man.
Robert Zadar.
Some of the movies he's been in.
Oh, he's got a hell of a career, and he is missed.
He definitely worked 7 days a week at some points because there are so many movies. Like he would just walk from set to set. Basically, you need a 7-foot dude. He's your guy.
He had the right idea about it. You want to work as much as you can while you can.
Yeah. So Leo Rossi, who plays Turkel. Now, the only reason I mention him is because there's some weird trivia about this. Apparently, Bobby. So Turkel, I believe, is the as I call him, hooker cop. Is basically he's like the guy on the beat, trying to find out who's killing all these hookers. And then he just kind of disappears halfway through the movie. Apparently, though, he did extensive research for his role, Bobby, which included him just going to strip clubs.
Really?
You think that's what he told his wife? He's like, I'm researching for a role. I'm in Maniac Cop 2. I got to go to these strip clubs and see how it's done. And yeah, okay, Leo. Apparently, he was thrown out of a strip club by 2 bouncers when he scared one of the strippers after making direct eye contact with her. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the murderer.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
pulling
that's
a face right
That's
now
right.
because
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, no.
Yeah, apparently he got in trouble for staring him right in the eyes.
People get too method with that shit. But yeah, he's the guy who looks like Cactus Jack all through this.
I called him Mick Foley.
He's Foley.
And you know
He's Mrs. Foley's
you know
baby
what
boy.
connection's going to be made.
Yes,
at
I do.
some point in this
I very
movie.
much do.
Yeah. So William Lustig apparently the director tried to convince Turkel that it's going to be okay. Leo Rossi, he's like, it's going to be fine to set yourself on fire. So the director did it himself, and he was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. It looks safe. Yeah, he apparently wound up with a bunch of wounds.
Oh, God.
After he burned himself and his beard. With
Really?
the flames on his arm. Yep. Joe Spinell, who's a Grindbin all-star from Star Crash and Maniac, was set to play the character of Turkel.
I completely believe that.
And apparently this was going to like bridge Maniac Cop with Maniac, which was what he wanted
That
to
makes
do.
sense.
But Spinell died before they began filming.
Yeah.
So then he was replaced by Leo Rossi. And this film is dedicated to Spinell in the end credits.
That was nice of them.
And then Bruce Campbell's in this movie.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Some guy. Also, Charles Napier's in this movie.
Charles Napier, Grindbin all-star Charles Napier from Super Vixens.
Yes.
Like episode 10 or something.
Also known for being Murdoch in Rambo.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Getting his office
And
shot
I told
up.
you, any movie with Napier in it and another Grindbin all-star, it's always like, sign me up, man. I'm
I was
ready to go.
excited to cover this film.
So here's the thing with Bruce Campbell. Apparently, like, he's barely in this movie, okay? He's killed 17 minutes into the movie. He has 3 minutes of screen time.
Well,
in-
he was the main character in part one.
Yeah, but they were like, yeah, get him out of here. You know, people want more Zada.
It's the Zada show now, kid.
You know what's funny, though, is that Bruce Campbell was in the first movie, and they replaced him with arguably a bigger actor in Robert Davi for the second one. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, fuck you, Campbell. We got a better guy.
And honestly, it was the style at the time in the 80s with slasher movies. You look at the first two Friday the 13th movies, and you look at the, the bridge between Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4. Whoever survived the last movie, we got to take him out in the next movie.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Friday the 13th 2
that's kinda
opens
cool,
with
though.
the final girl from part 1 getting killed.
But we never got, in Friday the 13th, Corey Feldman getting killed.
Well, no, because they did a weird time jump.
Yeah, they
they
did the time
recast
jump.
him. They had him go crazy,
But it was
and I
like,
guess
we
that
all-
didn't happen.
But goddamn, we wish we could have seen him get his head lobbed off, right?
It's the one thing missing. He should
I
have come
know.
back.
He should come back now.
Like
Just
Freddy
so we
vs.
can-
Jason
can we
should have
just
had Corey Feldman in it.
Please kill you in a Jason movie.
He'd probably be happy to do it now.
You know what? At this point, I don't want it. It's like, fuck off.
It's too late
You
now.
had your moment.
Oh.
You know, of all the Feldman movies, to me, he'll always be known as the guy who killed Jason. So,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It was his finest role.
although I did enjoy License to Drive. That's probably the only two Corey's movie I enjoyed.
But you know what? We're not here to talk about Jason. We're here to talk about knockoff Jason.
Yeah, that's true. What do you? By the way, a little hard take here. What do you think of Lost Boys?
It's okay.
Yeah, right. It's
It
fine.
has it's. I love about half of it, and the other half I could care.
Yeah.
And that's true of most Schumacher for me.
I think about the point when he's like, "You're eating worms, Michael." That's about where I'm like, okay, the rest of the movie sucks from here. So thanks.
Like so you're like me. You're cool with saxophone guy.
Yeah.
Saxophone guy's great. We're eating worms.
Uh-huh.
I like them hanging upside down on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
overpass. That's cool.
And then the rest of the movie, you're like, all right, it's fine.
that ending can go.
Yeah, who cares? And you know, whatever Feldman's doing with this fucking Frog Brothers voice shit, get out of here. That was too much for me. Anyways, Bruce Campbell apparently doesn't like to talk about this movie. He notoriously hates being asked about Maniac Cop 2.
Yeah, I read a little snippet of him talking about it where he thought it was he thought part 1 was pretty legit, and it didn't quite work out.
Yeah.
Part 2 can fuck off. That's pretty much my understanding.
Well, apparently he was also going through a divorce when he was filming this.
So it was a rough time.
So he was fucking pissed. And apparently, if you see him at a convention, people will purposely mention Maniac Cop 2 because he will insult you. So it's like an honor. Like, yeah, Bruce Campbell told me to fuck off.
But a hard take on Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
But it's never real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
You're
true.
not even talking to Bruce Campbell. You're talking to like the character he performs as.
That's true. Yeah.
He's got all these prepared responses. You're not really even meeting him. He's just he's dancing for you if you see him, and it's kind of I don't know. It wouldn't be very satisfying for me
No.
that he's doing shtick the whole time, and
Yeah.
you're like, I wanted to meet the actor.
Yeah, I wonder what he is like in real life because
Nobody knows.
Everything else is just
He probably
shit, so.
he probably sits in a dressing room staring at himself with a mirror. Is like, who even am I?
Yeah.
Is there still a Bruce in there?
So the last thing I'm going to mention before we get into the movie is that post-production was only 2.5 months, which is insanely short. That's from completion of like wrapping filming to the movie is done. Soundtrack, audio, picture cut, 2.5 months, and apparently William Lustig had 3 editors working around the clock.
And they left it all on the field.
Oh boy, did they. Just so they could have it in time to premiere at Cannes.
Fantastic.
Why?
At this point, it's a good time to mention that it went straight to video.
What are they expecting the palm to art?
Maniac Cop 2 never made it to a big screen until 2013.
Wow.
When I believe Blue Underground, as they were releasing a new Blu-ray for it, did a limited theatrical run of the restoration.
Huh.
But yeah, it went straight to VHS, so I guess Con didn't go so well.
Yeah. It was one of those ones where everybody walked out. And they're like, they do that because they really like it. And they're like, no, William.
Because they know. And they want to wait so they can pay for it later.
So, Bobby, we get into the movie, which apparently is just somebody press play on the VHS copy of Maniac Cop 1.
Like many movies I wish had. Like I wish many movies had.
Yeah.
We basically start with previously on Maniac Cop.
But they don't even say it just opens
but we
up
do,
on the...
We start with the ending of Maniac Cop. So for anyone who hasn't seen Maniac Cop 1, it is about... a
Maniac Cop.
A Maniac Cop. There's this cop and he's a maniac. No, Officer Matt
let me
Cordell.
Guess.
Yeah.
Because I just
you
watched
haven't seen it.
Okay,
so
ready?
Let's see how much information you've picked up from watching the recaps.
It is about a cop who got framed in some way, who got sent to prison.
Sing Sing specifically.
And they cut him up. And he died, and then he came back as a Maniac Cop, and Maniac Cop just kills cops and lets criminals go free.
Not entirely. You got most of it. Because when he was alive, Matt Cordell had a history of police brutality.
Oh, okay.
He took it a little far. He was kind of a Maniac Cop to begin with. We find this all out after the fact, because we don't get Matt Cordell alive.
Because there's a lot of stuff in this towards the end where they're like, you were a good cop. I guess not, huh?
Well, he was in that he stood for justice, but he roughed up people as he apprehended them. And so he was an easy target to be sent up the river.
Yeah.
Because he uncovered police corruption. He started to take his juggernaut-like force of justice against his own brethren.
So you're telling me at one point he's going around the precinct yelling, who stole my paperclip and everything?
Yes.
Which is a reference to Vice Squad.
Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure that's what it was based around. Someone steals his paperclip, and he lost it.
Yeah, he's like, this goes straight to the top. He finds out the commissioner's involved, blah, blah, blah.
And so he comes back from the grave to go after the people who were responsible for him dying in prison. And also, periodically, taking out some bad guys.
So, but in this movie, he just starts going after... really just going after...
He's
trying to help
anyone who gets
criminals.
in his way.
Yeah. Or just not even in his way, just in general.
Yeah,
as we're going to get to the first scene of this movie, you're like...
He's completely a bad apple in this movie.
Yeah, and he doesn't talk. So...
And it's good.
Did Zadar talk in the first one, or...
No.
Okay, so he never
He also
talked.
looks different in the first one than he does in this.
Really?
Well, much like Jason, we do a thing where he has the cuts on his face from when he was killed in prison. But by this point, at the end of Maniac Cop 1, for anyone who hasn't seen it, he gets impaled with a post. And
you'll see it in this movie, because he gets impaled by a post in the beginning of this movie.
And he gets driven in a police van into the bay.
Yeah.
And if you watch that footage, you get to see a stuntman almost get his ass killed. Because he almost gets a van to land on him as he's floating in the bay.
Yeah, and then afterwards he's like, almost on you. He's like, you're fine, come on.
Don't worry about it. The epilogue, though, shows that they never found Matt Cordell's body.
Okay.
So
here's the thing, is in this movie, it opens on that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Is they just pull up to a warehouse, these two random people who you don't know if you haven't seen the first movie, and they're like, oh my God, Maniac Cop's in there, and he's beating up Bruce Campbell and everything. And there's some weird slapstick point when he goes whoa, and throws Bruce Campbell against an armored car. And
that's just Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
He's not trying to do a comedy in this point.
They're like, well, Campbell's in it. Just add some sort of zing-ding or something, because it doesn't make sense without it. So then he just drives into the bay, gets impaled by a big pole.
And there was a whole subplot in part 1 or the main plot rather, where people thought Bruce Campbell was the Maniac Cop.
Oh, okay.
And they were able to clear his name once they discovered that.
I think he was in like a straitjacket or something at the...
Yeah, they thought he was nuts, and he got cleared at the end. But it all got covered up. They're like, we can't let the public know that this giant-ass cop came back from the grave and started killing people Jason style. So we're all just going to sweep that under the rug now. It's all taken care of.
Yeah, so where this begins, though, is like, well, we get long credits, like 3 minutes of credits where it's just beat-up cop cars. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know where we are. Like, are we still at the docks, or is this like... Look like maybe the aftermath of the Blues Brothers movie or something, because there's just like cop cars just destroyed everywhere, and I'm like, I don't know where we are. And then all of a sudden it just cuts to the part of the movie. I'm like, okay, I guess none of that makes sense. Well, at the beginning of the movie, when he drove into the water, I'm like, well, I guess the movie's over.
Thanks for coming.
So I saw the end of the movie, so...
Did you double check to make sure there wasn't some kind of error when you were watching the movie?
I did. I was like,
you came in at the end?
Did it skip to the end or something? No. It's just the beginning of the movie. So here's the thing: is like, what you're saying is they never found the body or anything. None of that happens because they just pretend like this literally is seconds after the first movie in this movie.
Yeah, we get right to it.
Yeah. So it starts with... Now, here's a funny thing is... so remember in the beginning of Cobra, the Stallone movie, when that guy comes in a liquor store and he's going to rob a grocery store, right?
Yeah.
Same guy walks in a liquor store here and he's going to rob the liquor store.
Yeah. And he's like the brother of the guy who does that in RoboCop. Late 80s, man.
Yeah. Well, they're all related, I guess.
There was a liquor store robbery in every damn action movie.
Here's the thing. Cashier has his eye on him, right? Mm-hmm. And he sees the guy stealing stuff, and he's like, all right, what are you doing, man? And then he just walks up to the counter with the gun. He's like, oh, I'm going to rob it.
I'm not a shoplifter. Ha-ha.
And the cashier's like, hey, man, look, I don't own the place. In fact, the owner doesn't even trust me. So when I put money into the cash register, it just, like, falls into the safe. I was like, God damn, man. That's a good idea.
It's not bad.
Yeah. And so he's like, well, what the hell? I need that money. And he's like, well, I don't know. And he's all, well, why don't we wait till the owner gets back? And he's like, okay.
We're just going to wait here.
So they just stand there, and he's like, I don't know. I'm getting kind of bored. I kind of want to kill something or do something. Whoa. Why don't we scratch off some lotto tickets, huh?
Now, while this is going on, he has hit the silent alarm.
Yes, he hits the silent alarm, so the police are on the way.
So now we're killing some time.
Yeah, we watch these guys do some scratchers.
And he's going to make the guy behind the counter start scratching every scratcher ticket until we find one that wins.
And every time the guy scratches when he goes, no, you lost, he's like, you're a liar. It's like, man, it's not
right
me.
Here.
It's the New York State Lottery, man. Like, you just got to take it up
them.
with them. Yeah. So finally he does win, and he wins $5,000.
This is great.
Yeah, and he's like, holy shit, man. You did great. You won $5,000. Like, you don't even need to rob the place. Just take the $5,000 and go. And he's like, oh, this sounds good. Uh-oh.
There's a big happy ending to this scene. Or is it?
Maniac Cop's here.
God damn, we got a Maniac Cop.
So when I can see the robber, like, turns around and shoots the Maniac Cop, and just nothing happens.
Because he's undead.
I guess, yeah.
And see, as I said earlier, Maniac Cop looks a little different than he did in part 1 now. Because he's rotted a bit now, and his face looks like a jack-o'-lantern.
You can barely see his face. Like, this is...
We don't really get a good look at his face until later in the film.
One of the worst lit movies I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing
They
is
had to
lit.
cover up some things.
Yeah, well, because you barely even see Zadar in this movie. Yeah. Like, you see...
With Zadar's weird face shape that he had due to his condition, and the makeup they gave him, he just looks like a rotting pumpkin.
Yeah, it's really bad.
He looks like his face looks like a jack-o'-lantern on like November 3rd.
Yes, yeah, and you're like, I should really throw that away, or I can make a movie. So the guy shoots him, nothing happens. The Maniac Cop kills the cashier, right? Mm-hmm. And then he gives the gun back to the robber, and the guy's like, oh, sweet.
He disarms the robber. The cashier is relieved.
Yeah.
And then he heel turns on him.
So what you're telling me is, like, in the first movie he had all this point to the kills. In this movie it just starts off just random.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think he killed some randos in the first one too.
So in this one he's helping crime.
Yeah.
What's the purpose for that?
He hates justice now.
Okay, so he's anti-justice, and he's like, I'm going to go help. So he's like an anti-Batman. And basically, like, he goes and he helps the criminals, and he's like, all right, you did well.
Well, it's the old, everything comes back to pro wrestling when I joined the show. Like, when someone suddenly turns heel, now he's just cool with all the other heels.
Okay, yeah.
Even if they had problems in the past.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we're both bad guys now, so that shit don't matter anymore.
We both got the same goal.
Survivor Series is rolling around. We're going to be on the same team. I think that's kind of what happened with the Maniac Cop. He's like, I'm a bad guy now.
Yeah, so he hands this other guy the shotgun. He tags him in. He's like, all right, your turn. Go commit some crimes. Thanks, buddy. And then they just go off. And I was like, man, it's so sad, too, because that one, the cashier's 2 days away from retirement. He had the $5,000 lotto ticket.
Things were starting to look up.
Top of the world for this dude. No.
Can't catch a break.
But here's the thing. Great setup is the sleazy guy, the robber, walks out of the store with the shotgun. And the real cops are here. And he's like, it wasn't me. It was one of you.
He's like, you're not going to believe this. And the cops show up with their trademark excessive force.
Yeah, because they go, drop up.
From the car.
Like, they don't even finish
the
dropping.
cops did a drive-by.
One guy goes, put it there. Okay, we're good. And then they just drive
good.
up. Yeah. Boom, the guy goes through a fucking window, which was great, right?
Yeah.
The stunts in this movie are top-notch.
It's one of the action sequences, the stunts, I think, is what really sells
Too
this.
much money. Too much money for this movie.
Like that, and for all the shitty lighting, Maniac Cop looks fucking cool in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, they got the look down. The first one needed work. The second one is the iconic look for him. Like, when Jason finally gets his hockey mask, you're like, there we go.
Yeah, you
now
don't
we're
want to
talking.
talk about burlap sack Jason.
And, I have an affection for burlap sack Jason as it is, but once he got the hockey mask, you're like, there it is. Bingo.
Yeah.
We can do merch of that shit. And that's what happened in this movie.
Because by, like, Friday 3, they're like, look, we can't have this guy walk around with a burlap sack on his head. People just think he's got a pillowcase on. It's not intimidating.
It's the Elephant Man running around with a pitchfork. This is stupid.
It would have been great, though, if he took the sack off and it was Zadar. Because then people are like, oh, my God. That face.
Real talk. Zadar would have made a bitchin' Jason in the 80s.
He would have. But he couldn't fit his face behind the mask. So
it would have looked awkward.
Like just
bulging out under the bottom.
The cheeks are just bulging out.
He'd look like Wild Wing from the Mighty Ducks.
So here you go. Another thing. Secret Christmas movie. Maniac Cop 2. Christmas movie, right?
Oh, this could have crossed over with Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah? This is weird, man. Like, all of a sudden we cut to... So Bruce Campbell and the lady...
These are
lady
Mallory
Teresa.
and Forrest.
Okay.
These are the two characters.
Yeah. They're in the commissioner's office while he's, like, decorating his Christmas tree. Like, they're watching him put the star on the tree, and he's like, is it straight? They're like, yeah, by the way, we just fished ourselves out of the bay. This guy got impaled and everything. He's like an undead cop.
We've got PTSD, sir.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, don't talk about that undead cop. Everybody thinks you're kind of crazy. You're going to have to go talk to this police psychologist lady.
Basically, yeah, that's what he's laying out for him. Is like, we know that it actually happened and that you're not crazy, but we need you to go. We need you to go to therapy. We need you to do all the crazy guy things, and we're not going to act like you're not.
Yeah. And so they're like, okay. And then we cut to them talking to the psychologist, and she's like, well, the lady, Teresa, says, no, you don't understand. There was this cop, and he came back, and he was a zombie type of thing, or some undead guy.
I just fucking told you not to talk about it.
And she goes,
what's the first rule of Fight Club?
Yes.
The first rule of Maniac Cop is you don't talk about Maniac Cop.
Yeah. And the psychologist lady's like, yeah, we remember we're not supposed to say that?
She just holds up a file.
She's like, we were just at the pier. We just saw him and everything. And she's like, he got impaled and everything. Go check the water,
Yeah, you were just at your boss's office, too. What happened there?
And Bruce Campbell, well, the psychologist lady goes, it was just some other messed up guy's face. Like, it was some guy with another Zadar face in a uniform with some cuts on his face. Like, in a cop, like some guy just rented a cop uniform.
It's a guy who also looked like Robert Zadar.
Yeah, there's like, everybody's like, 7-foot guys with giant chins. Like a chin as big as a state.
Yes,
okay?
a steroid chipmunk is easy to find in New York. Especially one in a cop outfit.
Yeah, they're all over the place. So anyways, Bruce Campbell's like, all right, hold on. Before you write that report, let me talk to this girl. And so the psychologist leaves. He goes, look, I got to keep this job. Okay? He's like, so maybe we just like calm it down with that whole zombie cop thing. And like, look, the good news is that I'm not on the hook anymore. Nobody thinks I'm the maniac cop. But I don't want them to start thinking that again because you're talking crazy. So why don't you just shut up?
So they have to come to Jesus.
Yeah, he's like, look, we got pensions to worry about, okay? And I'm going to retire one day.
And you know what? Not wrong.
Yeah.
I'd be on board.
Although maybe if you're declared crazy, you can retire early,
Well, here's the thing. You participate in the cover-up. You wait until you retire, right? Then you get the book deal.
That's true.
You talk about it.
There's no NDA for the police, Say whatever you want. So yeah, anyways, he's like, all right, psychologist lady, come back. Okay, so we're all good. Like, there's no Maniac Cop or anything. And then the lady's like, fuck this, and just runs out. And he's like, women, right? Apparently they're in a relationship too, which is even weirder. That he's like, man, I got to keep this job. Also, you do. Don't you? We live together. Like, we share bills.
Look, we'll talk about this when we get home.
And so then the psychologist is like, look, I can't let her go on the street with a gun and emotional problems. And I wrote, fair enough. I mean, it really is. Like, I don't want my cops on the street with emotional problems. Like, let's just,
Yeah.
give her a break.
And I also don't want that now. Let's.
I would
I
say
think we have
never.
a bit of a problem with cops on the street with emotional problems.
Yeah, maybe we should have more, therapy time. Be like, how about no gun for a week, huh?
Because we kind of, this is going to turn off a couple listeners, I'm sure, but we kind of have a few Maniac Cops out there. I'm not saying all the cops are Maniac Cops, but
No,
there's a lot of them
guys,
out there.
We've all seen 7-foot cops that look like, as Bobby said, a radioactive chipmunk or something.
Yeah,
you know.
close enough. With a pumpkin face.
Like if Chippendale became a man, like with the big chin and everything. We've all seen it,
It's out there, man.
Yeah. So we cut to a man being thrown out of a second-story window and landing on a
going
van.
through the window and bouncing off the van, and I thought, oh shit, they do it from Robotrix is in this movie.
Oh, yeah, right? No, because all of a sudden Robert Davi, he's like, hey guys, I'm in this movie, all right?
Well, to be clear, he's not in this movie. Because he's playing it like he's in some fucking 1940s.
Right?
Like,
yeah, like so Humphrey Bogart Zadar shows up, and it's like, oh, okay.
Davi, not Zadar.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Davi shows up.
Humphrey Bogart Zadar would be great, though.
He's doing like a Dick Tracy, okay? So
Really?
he's like, I loved Warren Beatty in that Dick Tracy movie. I'm going to do my version of it. And they're like, whatever you want, Davi, just show up to set, okay? He's like, can I play it 40s style?
Like, there might as well have been a saxophone playing the entire time he was on screen.
There was in his head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No question.
That's what he thought the soundtrack was going to be. He's like, maybe he just read the script all wrong, and he was just, because you're right, all his delivery and stuff is like, I don't need none of that fancy psychology.
See?
Yeah. We don't do that in my time. Men are men. Like, all right, Davi.
Yeah, at any given point, he was going to take his hat off and start throwing cards into it.
You just see the director, and he's like, I'm kind of afraid to tell him that he's doing it all wrong. So I just think I'm going to let him roll with it.
How do you feel that the tone was on set? Do you think it was just like, let it roll. Let's see what he does with that.
I think it was let it roll. Because, so Larry Cohen, like his movies, he does some interesting choices, which are not bad, but like every character has some weird side story where he just has fun with going into somebody's background and giving them like extra motivation for no reason, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because we'll get into like literally a character who shows up for 1 minute has the most complex backstory I've ever heard, which was great. But I feel like it was a thing on Cohen's, like he purposely made this character like you're saying, a noir character and put him in this movie because he's like, yeah, that'd be funny, right?
He's an old dick.
Yeah. Which I'm sure is how Larry pitched it. Yeah, you got this old dick.
What's my character? He's an old dick.
Yeah, and Davi's like, all right, got it. So this is great. So Robert Davi sees this guy fall out of a window, right? And he's got his gun out. And then the guy's dead. And other cops run up there like, holy shit, that guy's dead. And Davi's like, yeah. And then he just walks off. And he's like, too much paperwork. Because they say something like, I thought you shot him or something. And he goes, nah, too much paperwork. And then he walks away. I'm like, wait, what? Like, was he... Okay, I guess we're never going to explain it.
Yeah, well, why
we just saw a man fly out of the window. I'm like, yeah, fuck it.
Sure.
Right? So Davi goes to see the same psychologist, right?
Getting a lot of screen time
Why?
as a psychologist.
Was it because he walks into the psychologist's office.
I believe we are to understand that Davi was responsible for that perp going through the window.
But here's the thing is like, I don't know what they're talking about because it looks like he just literally went from that to the psychologist's office, and she's like, yeah, we got to talk about the shooting.
Isn't it police protocol that if there is an officer involved shooting, that officer has to have a psych evaluation afterwards?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, surely you're
I'm
an
sure
expert
that's how
on
it
police
worked on the
protocol.
Shield, right?
Hit the music.
I mean, all my reference to police work just comes from The Shield and Vic Mackey.
Great.
Literally, that's the only cop show I've ever watched. So.
All of your ideas of how the police operate are based on a show about a rogue police officer who doesn't play by the rules.
So I just thought it was all like that. But, yeah, I think they all had
You know what would have been really novel back at this time period? Some kind of movie or TV show about a cop who plays by the rules.
You know, that'd be interesting.
So many of
yeah.
them don't play by the rules that we don't even know the fucking rules anymore. What are the rules?
Maybe that's that Pat Morita one we haven't watched yet.
Oh,
you know, where it's like, he doesn't drive, he doesn't shoot,
He
doesn't
plays by the rules.
Yeah, he just is a good cop.
Desk cop.
She's like, oh, okay, so about that shooting, and that's why I was like, is this the one that just happened or another one or something? And I was like, did he shoot that guy? Because he didn't shoot that guy. And then he's like, I don't want to be here because I'm a tough guy, see? And I don't believe in
He says so much.
crime.
It's like, all right, Doc, let's make this easy. I feel great about what I did.
Yeah.
Like, I'll shoot another motherfucker.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And she's like, okay, well, I do have to ask you something because you had a partner, right? And he's like, yeah. She's like, well, so your partner was making an appointment to come and see me because, again, you're saying you love just shooting guys. So this guy was going to come see me, and then he never showed up. In fact, he committed suicide before our meeting. And he's like, he was always a feeler or something like that. And
It's
she's
just
like,
cold, man.
So I got a question, though. Like, you didn't have anything to do with that, right? And he's like, this psycho mumbo jumbo ass. You take your Freud and stick him up your ass.
He's Bronsoning pretty hard.
Yeah. He's like a mix between, like, Humphrey Bogart and Charles Bronson in this movie.
Man, that's a mix.
Yeah.
That sounds tasty. I would watch that movie.
So Davi just is like, fuck it. Too much paperwork. That's what I thought.
Literally
it
every question that he gets asked, he responds with meh.
Meh. See, I thought it would have been great because the first scene was he said too much paperwork when somebody said, I thought you shot him, right?
Yeah.
I was like, that should be a stinger. Like, whenever he gets out of a scene, he's like, too much paperwork. And then he just walks out. I was like, I like that. He never says it again. So Bruce Campbell buys a newspaper, right?
From the blind newsstand guy.
Yeah, who I didn't know was blind at this point.
Oh, you didn't pick up on that very quickly?
Yeah, because here's what happens.
Were you wondering why he wasn't looking at him?
Yeah, no, I just thought he didn't care because he's like, here comes this guy
Too
again,
much paperwork.
right? Yeah, he always wants to talk about that Army of Darkness movie or something, you know, where he turned,
Yes, you were in Evil Dead.
And so Bruce Campbell opens the newspaper and says, I wonder if they wrote about the Maniac Cop or something. And then all of a sudden he goes,
Well, not immediately, because he's talking to the guy, and then we cut to, like, a sidewalk.
Yeah.
And he just comes in, and he's swinging his nightstick around, and he's just going for a little stroll.
So he pulls out his nightstick, but it's also a giant
He's
knife.
got, like, a blade stuck in it. It's like Master Splinter's walking cane.
Yes.
And Bruce gets it right through the neck.
Yeah, he's like, oh, here's the family circus. And then he starts to read it and gets stabbed through the neck. And so this is the thing, like, I didn't know the newspaper guy was blind at first because he's like, what happened, man? And I'm like, he's got a fucking hole through his throat. What do you think?
You're yelling at your screen just like he's right in front of you. Just fucking look at it.
Yeah, because he's like, what?
What are you, blind?
And then he's like, hey, man, talk to me. What's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, my God. Then we just cut, right? And then we go to the morgue. Bobby, it's been like 12 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Gotta get them boobs.
Absolutely. Anywhere you can get them.
So they get
Is
him
this
in.
not a Grindbin film?
Yeah, my God. It opens up on the morgue and, like, you know, the real bad guy. What is that? That Will Smith, Martin Lawrence movie.
Bad Boys?
Bad Boys 2, where they just go to the morgue in that one part and they're like, look, it's a lady's boobs. We got to just throw that in the movie.
Hey, that's
Dead
a great
lady's
summer
boobs.
sequel.
Yeah.
Not for our show.
No.
But a great summer sequel.
Yeah, so they do the real Bad Boys 2, and they just, like, go, hey, look, she's a dead stripper. Isn't she great?
And they're seeing how she was killed, and we're setting up, introducing our
it does make sense.
our other
for the
big bad for this.
Yeah, it does make sense for the movie. At the same
But yeah,
time,
it's
though,
really
like,
unnecessary to.
when is a dead woman topless attractive? Never. Yes, thank you.
Oh, I'm sure there's people out there. You ever been to a horror convention?
Well, they're called fetishes.
Yeah. But yeah, they say, oh, she was strangled like the rest. All of them strippers. So we got the MO down.
Yeah, so we know there's some sort of stripper murders going on.
And then that's where we got the line that I opened this with, is that I hate being around stiffs since they made me kiss my grandma at her funeral.
I was like, what?
All right.
Somebody made him? Kiss your grandma. Kiss her before she goes in the ground. Kiss her.
I don't want to.
Just shoving his head.
Man, that's a flashback we could have used in this. Just some poor kid
man, just like
in
a
his short pants, just getting shoved into a casket.
Family Guy style flashback. There's a little cutaway to that.
Say goodbye.
And then, there's the whole joke where he gets his head caught in the coffin and everything.
Oh, no.
That'd be great.
Oh, he pulls an Ernest P. Worrell as the coffin lid comes down
and he's
on
like,
him.
oh,
Okay, just feet kicking.
And then at one point, the grandma comes out instead of him.
Oh,
no.
Man, what a weird departure that would be for this.
What it?
No.
And so then Davi comes in and he's like, so the dead body, see? And he pulls open this, he pulls off the sheet and it's Bruce Campbell, like, he's dead.
My work here is done.
And Bruce Campbell's girlfriend's like, oh my God, he's dead. And then Davi's like, so you did it, right? And she's like, wait, what?
He's got a hunch.
He's like, you did it, right? Because like most of the murders are just who's ever close to him. Or at least that's what I do. So it's usually the boyfriend
Whatever's
or the
the least
girlfriend.
amount of work for Davi.
So case closed, right? You did it? She's like, no,
Look,
fuck no, I did.
I'm
God
going to
damn
need
it.
you to admit that you did it.
She's like, did you hear about the zombie cop? He's like,
Choke on that one. Not going to. No.
And so then, you know what's really interesting is to think maybe this Davi character was still the same Davi character from Showgirls. Because we are going to deal with like strippers.
It's
right?
true.
And maybe he's like, you know what? I think I've had enough police work. Maybe I just want to work in that strip club. Maybe I want to like manage one of
You
these.
know, I got to say, after dealing on the Maniac Cop case, I'd want out too.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got to go with his other passion.
But he found his real passion. You know? He's like, yeah, strippers.
You know, you never know where your path's going to go.
Somebody needs to keep these strippers safe. And Davi's the man to do it. Right? So, yeah, he blames it on her. And that's when she says, she's like, I wouldn't kill him. I love him. And he goes, maybe I loved him too much. See? She's like, no, cut. And then Commissioner Davi and the psychologist are at his office. And apparently the commissioner's like, okay, so you did what I told you to do, right? And he's like, I guess. And he's like, well, the plan is that we're going to blame the lady on the killing of Bruce Campbell so that she doesn't talk to the press about the Maniac Cop. And Robert Davi goes, isn't it just easier to find the killer? He goes, you know what? Shut the fuck up and do what I tell you, okay? Now go press her even harder. Go make her so fucking afraid of it that she kills herself. That's when you succeeded, Davi. Or throw her out a window like you did with that other guy.
Man.
And he's like, okay, whatever you say, commish. And then they go,
do that.
Mackie, we need you to throw that lady out a window. Yeah, whatever.
Sounds good to me.
Already done. No, they go, Mackie, we need you to throw that lady out a... What was that, Gene?
No, not that lady. The other...
And so then Davi's like, okay, so we're not going to find that killer or anything? He's like, no, just blame the lady. Blame the woman. Blame the victim.
Everyone stop talking about the Maniac Cop.
Yeah.
There's a Maniac Cop? Damn it.
And so then Davi's like, I hate all this mumbo-jumbo, legal, psychologist. And he's talking to the psychologist.
We got another movie that has a very strong anti-mental health stance?
Yeah.
Is this more Scientology shit?
Well, here's the thing is like, so the psychologist goes, what do you got against a psychologist, right? And he goes, yeah, well, my ex-wife, she went to a psychologist, and then we got a divorce because she's fucking crazy. See? Yeah, he says something like, yeah, that doctor convinced her I was a bad guy. And the psychologist at one point goes like, well, maybe he was right. And he's like, fuck you. And I just right after all this, I'm like, I wonder why, Davi. I wonder why after she saw a psychologist, she got divorced from your ass. You
I
throw
can't
people
imagine.
out of windows. You talk about, I don't want to shoot a guy because there's too much paperwork. Thank God he just fell out a window.
This guy, it's probably a real Archie Bunker at home.
And then he just calls her meathead all the time?
Yeah.
So some guy's getting towed, right, by a cop? And that's just like,
Well,
wait, cops don't do the towing? What the
Well,
fuck?
a form of the police put boots on cars.
This was like,
It's a
yeah, but
it's like a
no, this
traffic
guy's
cop.
like full on towing a car. I'm like, no. They call the tow company to tow the car. They don't tow it themselves.
This guy's out of his jurisdiction.
It's like, holy shit, man, New York.
We got one of the God
problems.
complex here.
Yeah. Like in 1990, Giuliani's making the cops tow the cars. He's like, look, guys, we ain't going to pay for that anymore. You got to do it yourselves. So this guy drew the short straw, obviously, and he's towing cars for the night. And so this rich asshole is like, you towing my car, but you never even seen a car like this, you fucking douche. And he goes, hey, you want to know something? Don't be mean to the guy towing your car, right? And he goes, because if you don't get to Brooklyn by early morning, this car's going to be fucking stripped. People come into our parking lot all the time and rob the cars. We don't do shit about it. He's all afraid about it and everything. It's all right. Maniac Cop shows up and just kind of puts him like a fish hook onto the...
He hangs him.
Yeah, but they didn't film it. There was no coverage. They fucked it up.
Yeah, they did. It's not one of the better deaths in this movie. But yeah, he hangs him on the back of the tow truck, and the tow truck drives away with him.
So this is done within 2 seconds. Is you see the guy whose car is getting towed, the tow guy goes, oh my God. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you see is the cop on a hook.
Yeah, he kind of threw him on real quick. Kind of stuck him to the back.
You don't even like see anything. You just see him drive off with the cop on the back of it. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess he died.
I feel like we worked this one backwards. Not us, but I mean the filmmaking was done backwards. Like, we know we want him to get driven away on the back of the tow truck. How that happens in a short amount of time doesn't really matter. Let's
they're like, did we film that?
Look, he picks the guy up, and then we see the thing drive off with him.
Yeah. Maybe they like did it, like they had the guy hung up, and that's what they filmed first. They're like, so how are we going to do this?
Look, no one cares how we do it. They're not going to ask.
Yeah, fuck it.
Two assholes are going to ask way later in 2018.
Yeah, some guy's going to be like, did I miss something? And then he'll think he's so stupid that he missed it. He won't say anything.
See, he's going to save face.
So then the guy who witnesses here's the thing, the tow guy, right? He didn't even care. He smiles about it. He's like, yeah, fuck you, cop. And then rips up the ticket. And I'm like, oh, dude.
New York, man. It's a harsh place.
So the next thing is the blind newspaper salesman, right? So Zatoichi, the newspaper salesman. So the psychologist comes up and she's like, hey, I need to talk to you. He's like, oh, not about that crime again, okay? I just heard a guy scream and all of a sudden you told me his throat was taken out. I didn't see it, lady. I'm blind. And then she's like, oh, well, do you know any other leads or anything? And he goes, let me tell you a story. I was in Vietnam, and at one point, Charlie's all around us, man. And all my friends are all dead. And I pulled them over me, and I used those dead bodies as blankets, man, because it was so cold at night. So cold. And when I say, I'm like, what the
what are we doing?
Larry, what the fuck is going on, man?
Oh, Larry, is this in the script?
Yeah, either this guy's taking this for a walk, or Larry's writing this in. Because then this scene ends and you'll never see this man again. But we learn about how he used dead soldiers as a blanket.
It's a hell of a story.
And he's like, I can't fall asleep without the smell of rotting corpses anymore. So it's a real hard life that I live.
So how about you buy a fucking newspaper?
Yeah. You want to buy the Times?
That's how it should have ended.
Yeah. So then the cops are arresting the tow guy, right? So the tow guy's like, I didn't fucking kill the cop. It was some sort of maniac cop.
And that's been the MO of Maniac Cop, is that he kind of frames the people he chooses not to kill. That happened with Bruce all through part one.
And that's what happened in the first guy in this movie.
Yeah,
and
this is how it works. He's going to leave one guy alive to seemingly have been the killer.
But who even knows that this guy was part of anything?
Nobody.
Yeah, it was just like randomly like, we found you.
See, that's where he's counting on the cops then killing that guy. He's like, leaving one for the boys.
Oh, maybe they saw in the ticket book, because you know how you give a copy to the person and then he wrote it in his own. Maybe they saw like the license plate in there or something. Like, they don't need to explain it, but that makes sense, I guess. So, yeah, they arrest him. They're like, you killed the cop, and he's like, no, and then he's done. We'll never see him again. So then Davi is with the commissioner, and they're like, hey, do you think Maniac Cop's back? And they're like, I think so. And then Davi's like, well, I'm going to go check on Bruce Campbell's girlfriend because I think Maniac Cop's going to go get her or something. And the commissioner says at one point, he's like, well, why didn't he just go kill her already? And he goes, likes to keep her in fear. It's like,
that's very Bronson.
When did we learn that?
He just makes it up as he goes.
So Davi wasn't in the first movie.
No.
He just shows up as some sort of mystery character, and he's like, I'm here to solve your Maniac Cop
He's just the
problem.
1940s detective who's here to...
Is he just like, oh my God, is he like the Exorcist or something? Like they called him in? You know what I mean? They got to call in the Exorcist cop or something?
Oh, man. The door to the police station opening, you just see the silhouette of him in his hat. Someone asked for an old dick. The tubular bell starts playing.
Oh, man, it's like just break glass in case of emergency, calling the old dick.
Use the old dick phone.
So Davi has to go check out her. So she's like packing a bag, right? And the psychologist lady's there, and she's all, why are you packing a bag? She's like, well, I'm going on TV.
Yeah, she's going to go on a talk show.
So are you leaving town too, or are you just packing for the TV show?
Well, the show might not necessarily be there. Maybe she's going to Chicago to talk about it.
Yeah, that's true. No, actually, we find out it's right there.
Damn it.
But she's packing a bag, and the psychologist lady's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go with you to the TV show.
I don't know how long this interview is going to be, so I'm packing a change of clothes.
Yeah, so here's the other thing. This cab driver. Talk about taking it for a walk.
Yeah.
This fucking guy, they get in the car, he won't shut the fuck up, right? There's in the back, they're just riding the place. He's like, hey, so where you going, huh? See that packed bag? What's going on, huh? Got problems at home? And she's like, no, just don't worry about it. And he's like, so, hey, how you doing, huh?
Hey, speaking of not worrying about it, don't worry about it because you're on Cash Cab. We're going to ask you some questions.
She gets into the cab.
She's like, I don't have time.
No, I really don't. This is a problem. And he's like, all right, question number 1. What famous dictator? I don't care. Oh, you lost, ma'am. You have to get out.
Just pulls over. Maniac Cop's sitting there against the fence.
That's her call out special. She's like, all right, I'll take a lifeline. And they pull up and it's the Maniac Cop. Then he's like, I got a flat. I got to pull over and fix it. And I'm like, dude, this fucking cab, like, get out at this point. Like,
Fuck's sake, he could have walked.
Because she's like, can you just fix it, lady? He's like, what, and drive on my fucking rim? What are you talking about, lady? And so they pull over anyways. The Maniac Cop shows up in his car, right? Oh, my God, his ghost police car. And then
the Maniac car?
Maniac car. She takes... So the lady takes the cab, right?
Yeah.
And they get in a car chase. This is pretty great. She's in a car chase, and that cab is just driving on the rim, sparking all over the fucking
Hell
place.
of a car chase.
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
pretty good.
happens here.
So a lot happens. Of course, it's not good to explain, but it's a good car chase.
Well, explain it anyway.
Well, they go down the streets, and it's sparking all over the place.
Well, there's a lot more happening.
The chase ends, the car chase part. At one point, she's driving through, like, Christmas lights and Christmas decorations, like, on brownstones in Brooklyn.
The
you know?
Peanuts gang is singing.
Yeah, Charlie Brown's getting out there to kick the football, and he gets hit by some car.
He's dragging his tree.
The chase ends, right? And Maniac Cop gets out. He throws Teresa through a window.
That's a hell of a throw.
Store, right? Yeah, he does this thing multiple times where he throws people like 100 feet through the air.
Well, the thing is, you got Zadar.
Yeah.
You got Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Zadar, famously
wearing a
known-
Halloween mask. He can throw a person.
So then he takes... This is great, though. So Maniac Cop takes the psychologist lady and handcuffs her to a steering wheel and then puts the car into neutral. And so she's outside of the car, handcuffed to the steering wheel, and then he just lets the car roll. And she's like, bye! Then he... So Teresa grabs a chainsaw.
That comes out of nowhere,
Yeah,
man.
well, it's very Evil Dead 2, right?
Well, I guess also, yeah, that might be a reference. But also, it's Christmas time, trees and whatnot. I guess you could just walk into Central Park and cut a tree down.
That's true. So she comes out with the chainsaw and, like, tries to cut his hand. It does nothing. And then he snaps her neck, which is kind of unceremoniously. Like, she was in the first movie. Couldn't kill her better, you know?
Yeah.
Which, you know, rip her head off. Maybe they didn't have the time. Fuck it. She's got to go.
We have time to tell Vietnam stories.
But
we don't have time to come up with a better idea for dispatching the final girl from part 1.
Yeah. Fuck it. So then the psychologist lady is, like, still running next to the car. She's like, oh, shit! And
It's pretty intense.
yeah, that's a great scene. She's, like, trying to steer the car while she's outside of it. She finally gets inside the car, only to crash. And then, oh, my God, Bobby, she's turned over. Mm-hmm. She's, like, just coming to. And then, like, a gloved hand comes down and touches her. And you're like, oh, God, it's the Maniac Cop. And it's just some guy, and he's like, hey, lady, you okay? It's like another cop, and he's like, why are you handcuffed to the steering wheel? What the hell's going on? Kind of kinky fetish. And then we just cut. That's it.
Sure.
Okay.
That was the big finale of that chase.
So then the commissioner is on a TV show with Charles Napier as the host, right? Grindbin All-Star Charles Napier is like, hey, guys, I'm in this movie. This TV show is the most low-rent, public access, what is it, Cop Talk. New York Cop Talk.
Yeah, it probably comes on after that wrestling talk show from Body Slam.
Yeah. It reminded me of the talk show in Dawn of the Dead, like the original Dawn of the Dead. Where,
Oh,
like,
yeah, where
everything's shut down, so it's
And
just...
you got like dude in the eye patch being like, they're coming back from the dead. And
yeah,
no one
and it's
cares.
just like two dudes on folding chairs.
And people are running by.
And Charles Napier is like filming this in like the back of a bowling alley, and he's like, "No, it's my time. Stop rolling the balls and stuff." Like,
They should have added. Like the PA is just like, your order's ready. We got some nachos at lane 3.
so apparently the psychologist came right from the car to the set because she's like,
She's got her handcuffs dangling.
she's in a sling, and she's got bruises all over her face and everything. She goes, "It was the Maniac Cop," and the commissioner's like, "Shut up! Didn't we talk about this?" And he's like, No. There's no undead policeman in New York City. Come on now. Come on. What are we in a movie?
There's definitely not a 300-pound zombie cop going around.
There's not. Don't worry about it. You know, it's just Santa. It's just Santa, kids. You know, he's coming to give you a present. See the tall policeman? Don't run. It's fine. And then the show ends, and like afterwards, he's like, so I thought we talked about not seeing that, not talking about the Maniac Cop and everything. And she's like, well, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm really going to blow the whistle on this one. And he's like, all right, that sucks. At the same time, so Mick Foley is in a strip club. Okay.
Club 69.
Oh, how
Nice.
creative. Thanks, Larry.
Yeah, like real creative. Well done.
He's like, what do we call the strip club? I don't know, 69. There we go. That's fine. Maybe it was like a script note. They thought they'd come up with a better one. No.
It was filler.
Yeah. And so...
So yeah, we got our boy Cactus Jack.
So yeah, Mick Foley, he looks exactly like the wrestler Mick Foley. Like, exactly. But,
like
Cactus
young Mick
Jack
Foley.
or
Before he got really
Mankind.
big.
Yeah.
Like he's...
So here he's in a strip club watching Cop Talk on public access, which apparently the strip club plays on the TVs.
This is a weird club.
Yeah. The whole thing is weird because he's just watching this TV
Shouldn't it be
show.
Club 5-0?
That would have been great.
Thank you.
And so then Mick Foley and the strip club, I guess we got to get the boob break, right? So we got...
Of course.
And here's the thing. This is the worst strip club announcer I could ever imagine. Like, now, I don't know if this is what they do in real life, but apparently... While the girls are on stage, this guy goes like, and here comes Tiffany. Doesn't she look great, boys? Oh, look at her dance around, huh? Look at her undo that top a little bit there. Oh, gyrating around, huh? Grabbing the pole. She's doing real good. It's like, I don't need a full commentary. Like, I don't need a play-by-play. They got a color man, too,
Setting up to spin around the pole now. By God.
Yeah, I love it. The play-by-play and the commentary.
We need Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
And now, for the first time on any stage, the lovely Cheryl. Well, let's have a big round of applause, boys. Come on, let's hear it for Cheryl. Her debut here in the big city at Club 69. Isn't she lovely? No one has ever had this girl on the stage before. We always are the first one with the best talent in New York. So just keep your eyes on Cheryl. Oh, boy, tell me, isn't she lovely? Just keep your eyes on her. Definitely get an eye for her. Whoa. God, she's gorgeous, boy. Be generous. Spread out that cash.
She's on the floor and this place is going bananas.
So, yeah, he's doing the full play-by-play.
Now, I gotta say, I don't know about you.
Uh-huh.
I have attended a strip club literally twice in my life.
Okay.
There wasn't a DJ talking about anything.
Huh.
Any kind of important announcements that need to be made between people.
It'd just be like, song, girl, come up. Song,
it.
girl, come up.
That's it.
Okay.
But there was none of the...
There's no play-by-play?
No, and I was disappointed, I'm not going to
You
lie.
know,
I thought that I was... With all the movies I've seen, I expected it.
I mean, I've been in a strip club in my life. I really don't remember that. I don't remember if there was an announcer or anything like that, so... Huh.
I kind of assumed it was a big part of the presentation.
Like there'd be a play-by-play.
The DJ was going to be pulling some weight here, but no.
But what you don't need, right? Like
he's just here to spin Bad Medicine by Bon Jovi and then go back to his drink.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do a play-by-play. Like nobody, that would be something interesting. Porno play-by-plays,
That was actually a thought I had a million years ago when former wrestler Chyna did some adult films that I wanted somebody to splice in
JR
the commentary from her matches over the scenes that she would do.
She's broken them in half.
Tombstone.
So yeah, there's a boat break. We get the full play-by-play from the DJ. You think the manager's walking over at a point? He's like, dude,
we need you to
getting a little.
We need you to button it up a little.
Because here's the other thing is, so like Mick Foley sits down, right, and he pulls out $1. Nobody else near the stage is pulling out money. So assuming she's doing a bad job, or they're really like, I wish this guy would shut up.
That's more on the customers, really.
Yeah. A bunch of deadbeats, I guess. So he pulls out $1 and she's like, oh boy, $1, a shiny dollar, and like goes over to him, and he's never breaking contact, like eye contact. She's like, here you go, and gives him her top, and then he just puts his hands in like a praying thing, and he's like praying to Jesus. Okay.
Very devout man.
At this point, I don't know what the hell's going on. Cut to, we're in the stripper's apartment, right? So Cheryl, and she's on the phone with her mom. And she's like, yeah, everything's fine, Mom. I'm just living with these nice girlfriends of mine. We're all going to be typers. We're all doing real well.
It's like
in
a
the
scene
type
from
school.
Angel or a scene from HBO's The Deuce.
Yeah. Which I've never seen. I heard it's a great show.
Fantastic show. About to come back for season 2.
I saw that. So I'm going to have to get into season 1
Get caught up.
now.
Anyone out there, get caught up. It's a hell of a show.
I've heard it's good. I heard it has some stuff with 42nd Street and all that in it.
It's all about 42nd
All right,
Street. It takes place there. That's what The
great.
Deuce is.
That's great.
Yeah.
So she lies to her mom. She's like, yeah, everything's going good at type school. Doing great.
Typing it up.
Yeah. And then she she hangs up. Somebody's at the door, and she's like, hello. And then she's like, I'm calling the cops. She calls the cops, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, boom! Mick Foley comes through the fucking window, right? And he just tackles her on the ground. He screams. He goes, woo!
Yells bang, bang.
Bang, bang! And he goes, I feel just like John Wayne. And I said, you mean that movie where John Wayne broke into strippers' apartments through the window and tried to rape them on the floor?
Was that Brannigan?
I was like, man, I haven't seen many John Wayne movies.
I didn't see a lot of the later John Wayne movies.
Yeah. The later ones. Like True Grit era of John Wayne.
Like when he wasn't doing westerns anymore, he did a couple movies where he was like a cop.
Where he just slowly breaks a window and he's like, all right,
Hey,
now,
little lady.
lay down, please.
Jesus. Yeah, I wish John Wayne had done some gritty, like, fucking Joe Spinell movie. Like, I wanted John Wayne taking down Joe Spinell.
John Wayne is the maniac. John Wayne stars as the New York Ripper.
Oh, quack, quack, Pilgrim.
Yeah, he wanted to explore the other side. He's like, I'm done enough westerns. Now it's time for me to get my dark side
Time
out
for
there.
something different.
They're
I need
gonna
the
learn
world
about
to... You know what the world hasn't gotten to see yet? How racist I am.
Let's show him a little bit of the real John Wayne.
Like, if we needed a movie that really opened up all the racism and homophobia, that was John Wayne.
Yeah, you know, that's like when Clint Eastwood's like, can I do a movie where I like call Asian people by racist names? And they're like, whatever you say, Clint, you won an award.
They're like, you sure? He's like, I need to get this out of me.
Yeah, I really, come on, got to pay him back. I made letters for Iwo Jima, now I need to make this. Like,
It's one for them and one for me.
Yeah, whatever you say, Mr. Eastwood. That movie exists, by the way.
Yeah.
Woo!
Talking about Gran Torino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about that movie is not a bad movie, necessarily. It's actually not bad.
And you're supposed to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, whew, man. Only Eastwood could really get away with that, I think.
I think
you
so.
know? Anybody
Or John
else,
Wayne.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you'd see Bradley Cooper doing that one, you know?
It wouldn't hit like having Eastwood do it.
Although, funniest thing I've ever seen is that American Sniper when he's holding that plastic baby.
Right. I will say Bradley Cooper could get away with it if it is Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon. Gran Torino starring Rocket Raccoon.
All right, I'm in. So he strangles her, right? And then the Maniac Cop comes in the apartment, and she's like, oh, my God, thank God the cop's here. And then the real cops show up, and Maniac Cop just kills the real cops. And all of a sudden, right away, Mick Foley's like, this is my friend now. Thank you, stranger. And then they go out a
leave
window.
together.
Yeah, and the stripper's like, what the hell?
Oh, shit. We got a team up now.
Yeah. So now we have, because Mick Foley, anybody who remembers The Rock and Mick Foley and their famous tag team, the Rock and Sock Connection, this is the Cop and Sock Connection, is what I wrote in my notes for the rest of the movie.
I love it.
They form a tag team. They're the Cop and Sock, and they're going to go to Mankind's lair.
They needed to do a "This Is Your Life" segment where they show us the replay again of Matt Cordell being killed in the prison shower. He's just like, I've seen it.
So here's the thing. They're walking around, right? They're walking around, by the way, on the Brooklyn Bridge, which I'm like, how much did it cost to fucking film here? So they're walking across the Brooklyn Bridge, and Mick Foley's just like, man, you got to see my boiler room. It's great. Like, I got this whole house and everything. It always sounds like running water.
I got this
but
pet rat.
It's great because it's like, you know, a Three Pigs situation where it's all made out of brick.
My Uncle Paul's going to come over.
It's going to be great.
But
And-
legitimately in the story, he does say, you can come to my apartment. Now, I ain't a queer or nothing. I don't want you thinking...
yeah, come on now.
I'm not trying to bed you anything.
We're friends. You know, obviously, you know my proclivity for hookers. That's what I do. Strippers. There's a difference. But anyways, I feel like God has told me I gotta get rid of all the strippers of the world or something, is what he says. And the Maniac Cop doesn't talk, and he's just like, you get it, right? Yeah? Okay, great. So they go to his boiler room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is apparently some sort of brick room that doesn't have a light, so he stole a open 24 hours neon sign and hung it in the apartment here. All he's got is like a bed, running water constantly, so I don't know where they are. Like, they're either in, like, where the Ninja Turtles live
somewhere, right?
or somewhere, right? This is definitely like the abandoned subway from the Ninja Turtles movie. They're just like, yeah, you just got to get past that weird stripper killing guy, but don't mind him. He's fine. We got the rest of the train station.
He's the Rat
April,
King.
so just keep going past him. Oh man. So he also has a bunch of headshots of strippers formed in a cross, right? And he's like, so there's my work. To Maniac Cop, he's like, you might know me, right?
A little bit of my art.
So
and to your point earlier about New York Ripper, this is starting to feel like a Fulci character now.
Yeah. So he basically says, like, God told him his mission is to destroy all the, as he puts it, whores on Earth.
It's his crusade.
Yeah, it's his crusade. Then he looks at the Maniac Cop, so he's like, so you, like, cool with joining my cause and everything? Like, you're good for it? Then we just cut to the psychologist and Davi, and they're, like, having a moment in his office. It's like, hey, meet cute.
And I think the Maniac Cop does speak once.
Well, he does, because he says his name. So here's the thing is...
And he speaks like Peter Boyle's Frankenstein.
Yeah. And it's, he just... What's his name?
I'm sorry. They cut that scene where he and Cordell sing Putting on the Ritz together. That would be great.
Yeah, that would
as he's explaining his crusade.
I'm sure they were like, Larry, we're going to cut this part out.
He's like, I don't care, film it.
So the cop and Sock connection are back in the boiler room. And Foley's like, okay, so you know about me. Now let's hear about you. Flashback to the first movie.
Yeah, after they compare knives like Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah. They compared other things, now they're comparing knives.
Exactly. And now we're getting that flashback. We're getting Nude Zadar.
In the darkest...
You know what we're getting Tallywhacker Pit Fighter.
Oh, that's true. So the darkest lit prison ever. Like, apparently New York's
Michael Tanner special.
Yeah, apparently New York has got a problem with budget cuts because the cops are towing cars and the prisons are not lit. There's no lights because it's like a fully dark prison.
Yeah, what prison is letting you take a shower in the middle of the night?
Yeah, because this prison, like, all the doors are open when he's coming in and everything, and then you can just take a shower
like,
when you feel...
Let's say you're guarding a prison, and, like, some of the boys at 2 a.m. are like, we're going to go take a shower. Like, absolutely not.
Whatever. You know?
Yeah, hey, you know what? Don't use up all the hot water. Do you need towels? What kind of resort-ass prison is this?
You know. So you gotta, good behavior, Bobby.
Apparently.
You let them do what they want. So anyways, Zadar is like taking a shower, and then they just come in. They're like, hey, we don't like you. And then they just try to beat him up. He takes out a few guys.
And these guys have been sent by corrupt police officials.
Yeah.
They're the guys on the inside that are here. And this is like Eastern Promises.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Like, you get naked Zadar just whooping ass on people.
Yeah, and then he gets like his face all sliced up with knives and everything.
And he eventually succumbs to it.
Yeah.
We saw this, I think, multiple times in part 1. Like, they love this scene.
Huh. Well, this is the first time I saw it, so I was like, that's
new
fine.
to you.
So the psychologist and Davi, now they're like, hey, we got that stripper, and she's going to help us with the case. And by the way, audience, this will be the last time we see her. In the whole movie. Oh, wait, no, we'll see her for one more scene, and then she's gone.
She's got one more.
They're like, okay, so you're going to be able to finger this guy, right, when he walks through? Sorry for using that terminology. You're going to be able to spot him, right? See? And she's like, yeah, I guess. Okay. And so then, by the way, they cover this by going, something like the commissioner or Davi or somebody says, we put out a press release saying she's dead. I was like you think the guy's... Wait, hold on. Wait, no. The guy left in the middle of it. He didn't finish the job. All of a sudden, he's going to open the paper and go, she died? Wait, who? It wasn't me.
There's another guy out there.
Yeah,
then.
I guess there's another guy. But they're like, yeah, we put out in the press that she's dead, so nobody will be looking for her. I'm like, were they in the first place? Or, huh?
This is like a Freddy versus Jason. She's mine.
Where they just put out a press release. Jason's dead, everybody. Don't worry. Also, don't think of Freddy.
Go back to your homes.
Don't think about that guy anymore. So then Comp and Sock, right? So they're leaving. They're hanging out. They've gone to bed. And then Zadar just leaves, right? So Maniac Cop leaves, and Foley's like, hey, where you going?
He's going to get some air.
Are you getting some groceries? We need milk. Bye. And then he just walks out. He's like, remember me. Come back. I'll see you later.
This is a touching tale of a friendship.
Because he's like, what time are you coming back? Where you go? Maybe leave a number just in case. Just tell. But okay, I'll talk to you later.
It really is like The Rock and Mankind. The Rock just wants nothing to do with him, and he just adores him.
He's gonna get him to try to read his book.
Yeah.
So then the strip club. I was like, guess we need another boob break. Because now
look at the clock, man.
So
it was time.
The guy who's on the stripper beat, that cop's here for a scene, right?
Stripper cop.
He's like, I know all the strippers by name. Don't worry, guys. I'll help out. They're like, we're sure you do.
Yeah, you're a big help, Lou. Thanks.
Cheryl, the stripper, the psychologist, and Davi are all here, right? And Davi stands out like a sore thumb because he's the only person with this fucking Bogart hat looking like he's in fucking Casablanca at this point.
Because Davi's in grayscale.
He's just played again, Sam. He's the DJ. And so then, Mick Foley shows up, and she's like, "That's him. That's him, the guy." And then they chase him. They get him real quick. No, not even really a scene. They're like,
They just
"All
move
right,
very quickly.
you're arrested," and they throw him in jail. And then Foley's in a cell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Davi's like, "All right, where's that maniac cop?" And he goes, "I'll never tell you." And he goes, "Well, I bet he's at your address." And then he just leaves, and the scene ends.
Now, when he's in the cell, is he in with a bunch of other perps?
Yes.
This, I'm going to make sure I was remembering this correctly. We have a surprise Grindbin All-Star.
Oh, my God.
One of the other people in this cell is Danny Trejo.
Oh, that's right. Grindbin All-Star Danny Trejo from Kinjite.
Not only Kinjite, Bulletproof.
That's right, Bulletproof. Yeah, when he goes, McBang.
What the fuck? No, he's the first person called
right.
the Butthorn.
Yes, right. He goes, "Who the fuck is that?"
And he goes, "Your worst nightmare, Butthorn."
Thank you, Trejo. So he's a 3-time Grindbin All-Star now.
God damn.
All right, Danny.
He's on his way to the Hall of Fame
Guess
in
what?
like the tiniest parts.
He has no fucking lines.
No.
I thought it was
when you're
crazy.
watching this, you just go, "Son of a bitch, is that Danny Trejo?"
You know, I ate at his restaurant a couple
Trejo's
weeks ago.
Tacos?
Yeah, it's good. They got one in Pasadena.
Oh, nice.
It's a nice margarita.
He's planning a nice retirement.
A little expensive, but it was good.
Ah, you're paying for the name.
It's called Trejo's.
Makes sense.
And when I walked in, I was like, wonder if this has anything. Oh, there's his face right there. All right.
Trejo as in yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does threaten that as soon as my friend breaks me out of here, if you're nice to me, we'll take you with us.
Yeah. And then so the other thing is that Davi at the same time goes to the cop and sock lair, right?
Mhm.
So he goes to the boiler room and he looks at the stripper altar and he's like, "Got ourselves a serial killer."
No
Like,
shit.
That's a real like, okay, I guess so. Oh, well, they know about the hooker strangling, or sorry, stripper strangle, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess
The old stripper strangle.
Yeah, the old strip strangle. So he's like, yeah,
The old strip and strang.
yeah, we got him. So then, yeah, that's the scene where Danny Trejo's in and
Just chilling in the
Foley's just-
background.
Yeah, sitting there singing. He's like, la, la, the swan, and they're like, "Shut the fuck up!" And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you guys are nice, my friend's gonna come in here and save us." And then the psychologist comes in and she's like, "Can you tell me about that Maniac Cop?" Then we cut to Maniac Cop. He kills a bunch of cops at the shooting range.
Now, this is my favorite scene in the movie. Like, this is really effective as an image. We got cops practicing at the shooting range.
Yeah.
And then from the darkness in the back of the shooting range, the Maniac Cop slowly starts walking forward.
Yeah.
Like one of the targets coming through. And that's when you first get a good look at his pumpkin face. And it's like the shooting range starts shooting back.
Yeah. And he shoots up all these cops and there's blood everywhere. It's great.
Massacre Maniac Cop style.
And we have to say, this movie, man, the squib budget was out of control.
This is where they put in there's a body count of 38 in this movie.
Wow.
It's 38 if you count the replay of Matt Cordell dying in prison. So it's
Guess we
37 in a row in this movie. And most of it happens in this scene.
And then the next scene when he
marches
goes into
through the police station.
Yeah. Just starts shooting everybody up. Wonderful squib work is what I write.
Really is.
He breaks into the holding area. So by breaking in, he just breaks the door down, like a cell door down.
And that's what you want from the Maniac.
Of course.
You want him just like bursting through walls like the Juggernaut.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch, when he walks through. It takes Foley and the psychologist, because Foley's like, "Yeah, my friend's here," and the psychologist's like, "Oh no," and they take her hostage. Why do they take her hostage?
Well, he thinks he's going to get her to help them.
How?
I don't know.
I don't
Crazy.
really know what the plan is, because
Neither
he
did.
says something like, he goes, "I think we're going to go to the prison and break out, guys."
Well, they're going to get some help. They're building an army.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, there's something about they're building a cult army now of maniacs.
Because he's going to help out. He's going to find like-minded individuals, and they're going to. It's kind of the beginning of the Warriors. Eventually, we'll outnumber the cops. You know, that whole thing.
Interesting. And it is in New York.
See, every New York movie took place in the same universe. We know this.
Maybe they take a trip to the Bronx. You know, they fit in.
Oh man, Trash versus the Maniac Cop. Where
Yeah,
you
the
blow
strip
him up with one
strangles.
shot from a pistol.
Okay, so basically what happens is that they break out of the holding cell area.
Yes.
And here's the funny thing is, like, so all the cops are apparently, well, they kill a ton of cops, right? And
Yeah.
he kills tons of them
It is like Massacre Mafia style. They
Yeah.
just roll through the building.
Then he just breaks these guys out. They get into a prison bus, right? So I guess the bus that they transport people from the jail holding cells to the prison or something.
Yeah.
And they just drive on out of there and nobody cares. So, the thing is, the commissioner and Robert Davi are standing outside. They're like, so what's going on? There's like a hostage situation or something. And then the commissioner's like, yeah, that psychologist lady put on a uniform and now she's kidnapped women.
And
am
we
I
do
right?
have...
I mean, that's what he basically says.
basically. We do
Not
have an
my
attempt
words.
at a roadblock. But the prison bus just...
Yeah, but here's the thing is, like, nobody even notices them walk out. Then they get in a prison bus. They go, ha!
They
and then
shouldn't be
just
allowed to
run
get
out.
that far.
Yeah. And then they just drive on out, and they're like, do we chase them? Or, okay, I guess we do. Then there's, like, kind of a chase scene. It doesn't, like, there's a lot of stuff going on, but just police cars flipping around and everything.
Yeah, we're spending money on action.
And here's the thing I love, though, is they always cut to the psychologist lady in the bus, but to me it was like they never called action because she's just sitting there with no reaction on her face as like explosions are happening around her, and she's just like sitting there just with a straight face looking
Man,
forward.
This lady's seen it all,
Like
man.
she's just waiting for that guy to call action, right? But he never does, and they're like, wait, that's all the footage we got? Oh, shit.
They cut to her opening up her lunch.
Yeah.
Just biting into a sandwich while the cops are getting destroyed by a bus.
I mean, she doesn't even like look out the window, like maybe react like you saw an explosion or something. No, she just stares straight ahead the whole time. They keep cutting back to her. It's like either she's just like done with the movie or life, or nobody told her to do anything. And that's the 1 second of footage they got of her sitting in the bus. They just redid it over and over and over again. Again, 3 editors working around the clock, so that's all you could get. At some point, they're like, just put in parts from the first movie. We just need it done. The Cannes audience can't wait.
The Cannes audience.
So then they pull up to the prison, right? Well, okay, hold on. This is where it gets insane. Is that Robert Davi and the commissioner in a car? And Robert Davi's like, you know why there's a Maniac Cop, right? See? And he's like, no, I don't. And he's like, it's because of you, see? Because you betrayed him. And then he came back alive. And I'm sorry, were you in the first movie? How do you know this shit? And he pulls out, the commissioner pulls a gun on him. He's like, don't you fucking tell me what I did. And he's like, it's all your fault, see? You framed him and you put him in jail. And then all of a sudden he came back alive and now he's trying to kill cops and get his revenge. So you know what you need to do is file paperwork. I mean, that's the solution of this movie. It says you need to file paperwork with the office that says he's not guilty, and then the Supreme Court of the state will let him go.
Honestly, though, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you need to put the spirit to rest. It's classic ghost tale.
But it's pretty funny that the solution to the Maniac Cop is just file some paperwork, man.
The one thing they don't want to do.
Yeah. And the cop's
It's the
like,
biggest
no,
sacrifice. I won't do it.
So he's like, all right, commish, get on the radio, see, and tell the other cops that he's innocent. And so then he just calls in and he's like, all right, so I got a confession to make. And then we just cut. So now the cop and sock gang are at the prison, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, hey, we're going to break all our friends out. Now, here's the thing. They let him into the prison. And I'm like, so nobody... Okay, here's the thing. None of those cops at the station have like a radio or any way to reach the other cops and
News hasn't gotten
hey guys,
to them that some shit's gone down.
Somebody stole the prison bus. Wonder
if
where
you
they're
see
gonna...
a prison bus show up that wasn't scheduled, don't let it in.
Don't let him in. They don't say this, right? And instead, they just let him in. Also, here's the other thing. Bad idea to break into a prison if people are looking for you, because then they go, you know what you do? Just lock the door. And they never get out. Like, that would be great.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah. Man, we didn't even have to do work on this one. No paperwork here. They're already in. We're good.
I'm going back home.
Yeah, this is a real Judge Dredd, you know? They're just guilty. Get them a cell. They walk in. The whole thing is they walk in and they give Zadar and Mick Foley just some blankets and in their prison uniforms. They're like, put these on, guys. Welcome. Welcome home. So apparently, now I think they got conflicting ideas because Mick Foley's like, we're going to go break out our friends. And Zadar's more like, no, I'm going to go kill some people.
Well, that's the, this is where a wedge will be driven between our two best friends.
Yeah.
Is, he played him like a harp from hell. Because he wasn't building an army for your religious crusade, Mick Foley. He wanted to get into this prison because he's got to kill a few of the dudes who killed him.
Yeah.
he's got to finish his unfinished business.
This is a suicide mission, man.
Basically.
Like, he was never planning on getting out of this.
Yeah.
So, what happens is they just go in there, a prison break starts, all of a sudden the commission Davi are like outside now, and they're like, do we just let them kind of do their thing in there? Because, if they kill a few prisoners, I mean...
They could be helping us a little bit.
I mean,
here.
this is maximum security, right?
No one's even going to know about this.
Right, it's happened. So they just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, Zadar catches on fire.
Well, somehow the prisoners have made a Molotov?
Yeah. Who gave the prisoners the access to fire? Please.
What the hell kind of prison are you running here? People are taking showers in the middle of the night and they have materials to make Molotov cocktails?
Yeah, because they Molotov Zadar, and then this is glorious, though.
It's great firework.
Now, remember how I said the prison was low light? It's all right. We got a guy on fire. So he lights the whole scene for the next 5 minutes. A man's on fire.
It is a long, long burn.
Yeah.
And I just watched a documentary about Kane Hodder where he talks about those kinds of stunts because he's an expert about it.
This was...
And to have rewatched this movie and seen that burn after hearing about what it's like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, it is a sight to behold.
Yeah, and there were some long takes, too, although it is in slow motion, so it was definitely faster.
It's still a very long time to be walking around on fire for that stunt man.
And so
there's no way that was Zadar.
Basically walks around and lights other people on fire.
And I gotta say, this is where the makeup job really comes in handy. Because it looked like a rubber mask anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of times with these burn things, like whatever character is on fire suddenly looks ridiculous.
Well, yeah, especially if it's like a real skinny person that catches on fire and they're like, man, they're like 300 pounds now.
Suddenly it's a linebacker wearing a Halloween mask.
Yeah, like the freaking refrigerator Perry walking around.
There's a big example of that in the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Nancy sets Freddy on fire and he doubles in size.
Becomes a linebacker.
And he's just and it's just Mean Joe Green on fire, dressed like Freddy Krueger.
So yeah, he walks around on fire, he lights other guys on fire, and then Foley's like, I thought you were my friend, and he stabs him in the back, and Zadar goes, nope. And then again,
Cactus Jack saves the day.
Fucking lax prison here again. There's windows? Because he throws himself and Foley out of a window of the prison, and they just land on the outside of the prison.
And it's exactly what you thought Mick Foley would do.
He goes right off the side. So they broke him in half, right? Literally broke him in half. They killed him.
What an unexpected hero of the story.
Yeah, so I guess...
in a manner of speaking, because I guess that's it. Commissioner Doyle made a public apology. They've publicly cleared the name of Matt Cordell.
Yeah.
Matt Cordell has now died.
So here's the thing.
Again.
The old dick did nothing, really.
No, he's just around. He's in his own movie.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm here for your Maniac
Yeah,
Cop.
but he did apprehend Prune Face, Flat Top.
That's true, and he did...
He took them in between the scenes.
Also tell the commissioner you need to confess.
Yeah.
And he did. But really, he never solved really anything. Because all of a sudden, he goes, the script told me that you locked the Maniac Cop in prison. Because he was like, how do you know that? And he's like, I don't know. I'm apparently off screen. I learned this information or something. Or he just is that good of an old dick that he found it out himself. Old dick detective work. So
old dicks know all the tricks.
That's true.
I've always said that.
This movie ends with the funeral, right?
Because it's all part of laying that spirit to rest. We need to... He's getting full honors as a slain police officer.
And I do love this, though, is that... so Davi... Robert Davi has his badge, right? Mm-hmm. And he just goes like, huh, and throws it in the...
Maximum effort.
In the grave, and it just lands on top of the coffin. I'm like, dude, couldn't put that in there earlier?
This is and Bone Thugs and Harmony start playing over it. We're seeing him at the crossroads.
There is that part too where Zadar or Davi thinks he sees something in the tombstones or something. He cuts him and he's like,
a shudder goes up his spine.
Some sort of figure, and you're like, what?
Because there's a little bit of Maniac Cop in all of us.
Yeah, something weird, right? And then they just walk away. He's like, yeah, I guess this is the end of the movie. And then we pan back to the grave.
And we get the Carrie ending. Because suddenly a gloved hand bursts through the coffin and grabs the badge.
Yeah.
It's not over. Though it should be. Part 3's not any good.
So is that Davi's fault because he threw the badge on the coffin?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
He's the one who reincarnated him. Like, ugh.
Not only did he not do anything to save anybody, but he fucks it at the end. He's going to make him come back.
Yeah, the commissioner's like, where's that badge, by the way? You did what? And then, yeah. Anyways, this has the most amazing credits sequence. This song...
Mike, is it because of the Maniac Cop rap?
Yep. So
it is so good.
What came first? This or Ninja Turtles 2?
Turtle Power, that was 89.
Man.
This is 90.
Because...
Was it 89?
No,
I want to say it was.
Maybe Turtles 2 was a little later, because that's when the Vanilla Ice song was.
No. The end of the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ends with Turtle Power.
Oh,
that rap song that explains the whole movie. And that's
I was
what
talking about Ninja rap.
Oh, no, that was well into it.
That's Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah. But this started with the first Ninja Turtles movie, and it was around the
true.
same time as Maniac Cop 2. It was a weird trend we got into.
We got to get...
In the early 90s, we needed a rap song that recaps the film.
Yeah. There was cartoon intros to movies, lots of those, and rap songs that recap movies.
Great thing, Mike. Of course, I've mentioned this before on the show. I collect vinyl soundtracks to cult films and horror films and stuff like that. They've put out Maniac Cop 2, the soundtrack.
Oh, so what is it? Just a 7-inch? Because there's only this song.
Oh no, there's a score throughout the film, and it's all the score, but it includes the rap at the end.
Oh, you got to have the rap, or else nobody's gonna buy it.
But yeah, this rap song is amazing.
It's incredible,
and it's old school hip hop. It's throw your hands in the air, waving like you just don't care.
We're going to tell you the whole plot.
Here comes the Maniac Cop.
It really is. It's like, the Maniac Cop is here
it's
to say...
like fucking the Fat Boy showed up. It's like...
He rose from the grave and killed some guys. And then Robert Davi showed up. Like, it's like, okay, I guess we're going to learn it all.
You got flow, Mike.
Maniac, Cop. Okay. 2.
Just, you picture Robert Zadar and Robert Davi doing the Running Man together.
Yeah, in the music video version, of course.
It's like he's chasing the Maniac Cop, but they're not going anywhere. They're just running in place.
See, because like the Vanilla Ice song in Turtles 2, right? Because all of a sudden it does become a dance video at the end of that movie.
Michelangelo's doing windmills.
Shit in this. Like, cut to, we're at the club.
We should have had, at Club 69. Yes. The cast should have returned at the end to dance battle.
Yes, and the strip club DJ could be like, and here we got coming to the stage right now, the Maniac Cop. And then he comes
and Foley
out.
Could start doing his dude love dances.
And then Chainsaw Charlie shows up.
Saws his way out of the porta potty. Yeah, but I mean, I want to see Robert Zadar bust a move.
Hell yeah, we do. I'm sure there's a movie.
Especially in all that makeup. So, that said, that was Maniac Cop 2. Mike, would you recommend Maniac Cop 2?
Not really.
Okay.
It's fine. I mean, it's enjoyable, but I haven't seen the first one, and I watched this one. I was like, yeah, I mean, the problem is there's no one-liners. It's got a lot of great squib work. It's got good stunts. It's a fun watch, but there's really, like...
You're absolutely right about that. And we talked about this before we recorded tonight, that that's the missing ingredient here. It needed some quips.
Yeah.
The script, I think, needed a once-over with some one-liners. It's a late 80s cop movie, even if it is also a slasher.
You gotta have...
Both slashers and cop movies in the late 80s were full of one-liners.
You gotta have them. Like, any so bad it's good type of movies gotta have the one-liners. Like, I was telling you actually before we recorded that I recently watched a really, really bad recent movie, which was this movie called Kidnap with Halle Berry, which I highly recommend. It's crazy. She's got one-liners out the ass in that movie. She's got them all over the place. There's a part where she's like, "You fucked with the wrong mom," after she
right.
Yeah, it's great. You got to have that.
You do need that. And what's interesting is there was a spiritual cousin to the Maniac Cop series. There are 2 Psycho Cop movies.
I've heard of Psycho Cop, yeah.
And that guy won't shut up. That's the other side of that coin.
So it's too much.
Psycho Cop won't stop quipping. It's like later era Freddy, where
If
it's
only
like
they had a
you're
baby.
doing too many gags.
Oh, God, by like Nightmare 5.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude,
all right, dude.
All right, I need you to stop a little. Just dial it back a little. And also the problem with Psycho Cop is he just looks like a dude. Like Maniac Cop has such a striking image. Like he looks like an iconic slasher character. Psycho Cop is just some some cop who comes in, makes the Bugs Bunny jokes, and kills people. And it just, if you can blend the two together, I think we'd have something. If big ass Maniac Cop was making one-liners and puns and shit,
or at least have Davi's character, do something. Because again, like, he's in a different movie. He's playing a noir movie. He's not playing it like a comedy or anything. He's
which
playing
is such
it serious.
an odd choice.
Yeah.
Oh, I recommend this, by the way. But
I knew you would. You're a big fan of this one.
I have a very soft spot for slashers in general. I also I like the second tier slasher characters. We all love Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, Michael Myers, Candyman, the guys like that. There's the second tier. There's the B-listers. There's the curtain jerkers, if you will, of the slasher.
Oh yeah,
card.
Maniac Cop's definitely in the undercard.
We got mid-card slasher characters, and it's Harry Warden from My Bloody Valentine.
Okay.
It's Cropsy from The Burning.
Yeah.
It's Madman Mars. And it's the Maniac Cop.
These are all guys going for the European Championship.
Yeah, these are the IC title holders of slasher films. I don't know. I want Charlie Brown to get a Valentine, man. I wish these guys had the same amount of sequels as the big guys.
Well, some of them do.
No, they really don't.
No, well,
Not
yeah,
these
I
guys.
guess you kind of run out of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer. I think you could have gone the distance with a Maniac Cop story.
Well, they made like 9 of those Killjoy movies.
Oh, God. That's not even B-listers.
Yeah.
That's bottom of the barrel. But
light heavyweight.
If we're keeping this wrestling thing going, this is really turning into a wrestling podcast.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Sorry about that, Mike.
You've heard that sound. How do you think...
Police sirens?
Yeah.
Is there a car chase going on outside?
So how do you think Bobby DeVito fit in the world of Maniac Cop 2, Bobby? What do you think?
There was a prison break at the end of this.
That's true.
And at this point, it's 1990, you said?
1990.
I think the boys have been paying for their crimes a bit.
Yeah,
and
they
I
had
feel
to at some point.
I feel now, everyone's attention was on Maniac Cop and Mick Foley escaping the prison with a big hole in the window. I think a couple bed sheets tied together may have gone out said window while everyone was running after the Maniac Cop. And the boys were doing sort of a reverse Batman and Robin down the side of the prison wall. And DeVito turns to Bobby and says, "Yeah, this would be a lot easier if these sheets weren't so stiff, Bobby." How do you think Bobby and DeVito fit into the world of Maniac Cop, Mike?
Well, I think as we know, the old Dick, he gets called in wherever he needs. He's like the exorcist of the police force,
Absolutely.
Right? You got to call him in, and he goes, "Well, I solved the case of the Maniac Cop." Not really, but what I really do is I don't solve cases. I kind of make people solve their own cases. They kind of
help you help yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes home. Dobby gets a call, and they go, "We got a new case for you. This is Malibu PD.
Oh,
we've had this car, this van that's been driving around since 1978. We're looking for somebody to finally crack the case. Another strip strangle situation. We're wondering if you could do it." And you just hear as he boards the plane and goes on to Malibu, where he goes to solve the next case. Where I imagine what Davi will just convince Bobby and DeVito to turn themselves in, and the case won't really be solved, but something about maybe getting another drag race with Dugan and a van flipping over and Davi going, I think everybody learned their lesson here, right? This old Dick's gone. And he just fades into the background and never to be seen again.
yeah, I like that.
Anyways, thanks for joining us on another episode of The Grindbin. You can find us at grindhousefilm.com. You can email us at grindbin@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. Well, Bobby's famous saying.
Oh, yeah. Like us on Facebook, hate us on Twitter, be indifferent on Instagram.
There you go. And then,
check out our Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon, $2 a month. You get 2 bonus episodes a month, as well 2 bonus mini bins a month, which we mostly discuss old TV shows. They're always interesting. And we're starting a new feature on there where we're going to be reading more from the man who made Demon Cop's book. We're going to do this Rocco's Modern Film Life over on the mini bin.
I am so excited.
Where we are going to read entries from Rocco's Modern Film Life, where he met various people in his book, Lo and Behold, My Story of How I Went into Hollywood. That long title. Anyways, yeah, stay tuned for that. That's going to be, man, I got some choice entries for that. And this is stuff that's just hidden gold, There's only 3 people that bought that book, and I'm one of them. So
I think eventually we're going to have to get in touch with Rocco himself.
I feel like it.
I feel like that's where this is leading.
It all comes back to Screwball Stew and Demon Cop, Bobby. That's what happens. So,
Man,
and one day the Yeti.
I look forward to it. Bobby, they're towing the van.
Yo, wait a minute.
What's that? What's that? What's that?
Something sneaking around the corner.
Here we come, here we come.
I think it's that Maniac.
Hold up, hold up, hold up. You better watch out when you hear that sound. It means that the Maniac Cop's around. Once upon a time, he was a super cop, but the bad guys blamed him to make him stop. They put him in prison where they tried to kill him. But he broke out, now he's the villain. Bullets won't hurt him. I know it sounds like jive, but we're not sure if he's dead or alive.
Set him on fire, I shoot him with an Uzi. But he'll show up in your jacuzzi. You can run him over, you can feed him poison. Push him out a window and it only annoys him. You better believe me if they think I'm lying. When he show up,
Yeah.
people start dying. He's out for vengeance and he can't be stopped. That's why they call him the Maniac Cop.
You have the right to remain silent.
When you hear that whistle out in the streets, you're gonna think it's a cop on the beat. But don't be thinking about police protection, cause this is one cop with a bad connection. When he shows up, he's supposed to protect ya. The Maniac Cop is out to get ya. He's an anti-vigilante and they can't convict him. So watch out, Jack, cause you're the next victim.
Don't hang around. If you see him coming, just pick up your feet and commit to running. And don't waste time dialing 911.
Forget karate.
And forget your gun. Don't play hero, don't try to be brave. This dude's gonna show you to an early grave. He's out for vengeance and he can't be stopped. That's why they call him the Maniac Cop.
You have the right to a mortician. If you cannot afford one, we'll take you as you are.
The law is evil and justice is blind, but this cop's justice is one of a kind. He's homicidal and maladjusted, but when he busts in, your ass is busted. You won't get a ticket or pay your fine. You might as well be dealing with Frankenstein. He's big and ugly with a busted jaw. You know he's the wrong arm of the law.
You better stay away from this man in blue. And don't call a cop cause he'll snuff him too. They killed him once, but he came back. He's the maniac. So when you're out on the streets and you hear that sound, it probably means that Cordell's around. He's out for vengeance and he can't be stopped. That's why they call him the Maniac.
The Maniac Cop. Wait a minute, wait up.
What's that?
I don't know, but I'm breaking camp.
No, wait, Josh, come back.
Oh man, I ain't with that, man. It's great.
Let's get out of here. Come on.
Hey man, maybe we should chill.
I know. Let's check out the movie again.
I think we should.
You have the right to remain silent. Forever.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
I didn't say it, knocker. I don't know. Spooky got no real rhythm.